And to me, it's nauseating. It's absolutely nauseating because
multiple mental health clinicians said that Derek had limited intellectual ability and was not capable of consenting.
Congratulations.
Boom. Right? Change soccer in America forever.
Hella bugs out here. Yeah, bro, I can't keep caressing my leg, boy. Trying to get freaky out here.
Your step siblings and also husband and wife.
I can't do any of that stuff.
That's right. Yeah, in fact, soccer can crawl up my asshole and die for all I care. And that's what the kids do, but I'm a little older. I like that shirt tucked in.
Who the hell told you that would not be seen on television?
Anal sex is the process of inserting a penis into the anus of another partner.
Oh, shit. It's showtime. Do 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 do. You know, it's a Bill Murray on the SNL.
Robert Goulet.
What's that? What's Bill Murray on the SNL skit?
Was it Show Tune Sing or whatever?
No, he's like Star Wars.
Yeah.
I don't know what the lyrics were, but you know. How's the dog, Brett? How are the balls?
What Alex is saying, yeah. Well, they took it. E took him in on Tuesday, and he got patched back up, given some sedatives, and is supposed to relax for the next. He had a testicle hemoglobin or whatever the fuck it is. Basically, after they sewed him back up, he bled into his sac, and it eventually burst.
Yeah, not good.
So
yeah,
you got the sedatives, and that dog on a sedative is hysterical because it's still batshit crazy, but his eyes are like this.
Yeah,
when he's like sprinting around the house, I'm like, dude, you gotta calm down. I gave you a sedative.
So here's the gross fact. So when I had my massive hernia, and they had to cut my ball sack in half.
We're gonna get the eagle claw conversation.
When they put the eagle claws on, they did leave a hole in it for it to leak out.
See, a little bit, yeah.
So the blood or what there was an infection, it had a place to leave. So I had to wear diapers for a month. Grown-up diapers. And
yeah, you're only about 4 or 5 more years out from having to get those again.
Yeah, I guess so. No, everything's working down there pretty well now. But then, yeah, wearing diapers was weird. It was just weird. It was a weird thing to be walking around eventually at work with diapers on underneath my pants. Just diapers. Yeah. That is not for my poop. It was for...
It was really weird when we went to your boss and asked him if you could if they could wipe your ass for you. I pooped myself.
I mean, I don't know if they noticed or they did it or not. It doesn't really matter. The fact is that there was leakage and I needed to wear something for the blood and the whatever was coming out of there. Anyhow, gross things, gross facts. Welcome to the show. This is the Straight Red Card. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma, of course.
A fellow defendwear. I get it. Nice transition.
Right. No, it's been a great time. We just saw on Tack Show during the New Zealand game, which we'll get to, which was crap. It was crap. I don't know what to say other than that. Also, someone was asking me about the origins of indie rock. Some people were saying it's the Beatles' White Album was the origins of indie rock, independent rock, Velvet Underground's Banana Album, or Paul McCartney's Ram. I don't know. Pick your choice. I don't know what it is exactly. I think it really blew up with, like Guided by Voices, garage rock epics. But then it just blew up with Sebadoh and Pavement and all that. So I don't know what the answer is because it died off for quite a long time. At least it seemed like it did until the 90s. All right. What do you got here? What do we do? What are we doing today?
We were talking soccer, Derek.
Oh, yeah. The show's about soccer. Oh, I forgot to say today I am drinking the last of the bourbon barrel no sparge, and had somebody explain to me what no sparge means.
Do you remember?
Not really. But they did a great job.
And I guess it's like a process of continuing to cook it or age it or whatever.
And you don't dilute it with more water. So that's why this is 12.5.
That's why Miller is spargeless.
I mean, they need to, they need to go spargeless. That's what they need to do to thicken up that shit. Is that
no
what
chance of me? There's no chance of me finding that right now. My timeline's fucked.
you're drinking? What are you drinking?
Oh, I got some vodka orange.
Okay, that's a classic.
I got a follow-up beer of origins. Of some origins. I have no idea what it is. It could be anything. Whoever wants to sponsor us.
That's shit my dad drinks. He's 80.
I'm sitting here. I've got my drink. I'm like, I don't have any more bourbon. So I was like 30 seconds before the show started. I'm like, I gotta go get a crap beer real quick.
Somebody PT69 saying Bon Jovi saved a woman from jumping off a bridge the other day because she was. Don't they have a song like "Living on the Ledge" or "Edge" or something?
That nobody could save his career. Oh,
I'm living on the edge. No, that's sorry,
Aerosmith.
Right? Okay, would it more apropos if somebody from Aerosmith had saved her? Right? I'm living on the edge.
It'd be even weirder if Linkin Park did it.
I don't even know what that is. I know it's a band.
Linkin Park, yeah, that would be 6 feet closer to the edge, and I'm about to break.
Okay.
Well, it's a bit different, but
yeah, all right.
One's about jumping. I get in that situation. One would be saving.
Yeah, Linkin Park. It's yeah, whatever. All right, moving on.
R.I.P.
All right, moving on.
Looks like I guess Linkin Park's looking to replace Chester to do a tour of some form.
All right.
So I know you're stoked. I can hear it in your voice, Derek.
I know. I'm just really titillated.
Whoa, reel it back, man. Reel it back.
Just titillated. Absolutely.
Thank goodness other people wear headphones when listening to our show, man.
Oh, yeah. Linkin Park. All right. All right. What are we doing? Let's do something.
Juan Garcia says, I can't believe you guys didn't even bring up Sublime last episode. I'm a big Sublime fan. It's unfortunate death, though.
Yeah, I couldn't. No way I could swallow Sublime. No, not doing it. It's okay.
Summertime. That's a great song. That's a great song.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right. I'm not breaking out the lube.
I don't think anybody breaks out the lube for that.
Okay. Just
do you break lube out for music all the time, Derek?
No, it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. I don't literally break out lube when I listen to music.
Keep using that word.
I know, I do. It's true. Sublime had an alcoholic beverage once upon a time. I did not know that. Yeah. Okay, great. Hey, by the way, for the 69 of you who are already here 8 minutes in, make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with grandma. And give your stepsister a peck on the cheek as we move on.
Sorry, I'm responding with talking with Scott about on Twitter about that Dutch article we're going to get into in a little bit.
Okay.
But we're not there yet, guys, and we don't have much non-soccer fluff. We're kind of we're like soccer fiends tonight.
Okay. Let me just put this out there.
Right,
all right. Before we move on to soccer stuff. I really had, when I came on Pete and Tack, I had to go after him for the boy band thing. Because Tack was saying, he was comparing the boy bands to the Beatles. And I just thought, I know he was joking. I hoped he was joking. It's like, nah, man. Nah. Can't do that.
One's a band that actually plays instruments and, has meaningful songs, and the other ones suck.
What's it? Boys, I don't know, NSYNC and whatever else they were mentioning there. Backstreet Boys were American
96, 98 degrees.
They were released to defeat the Beatles. Well, they're not even contemporaries, number one. And the Beatles have sold 180 million more albums than both of those bands put together. So
maybe I don't know the popularity of, say, like K-pop for that example, but I mean, there's definitely no American boy bands that can compete with any form of sales with Beatles. It's no chance.
No.
I mean, the Beatles have had many decades more than any boy band combined.
Sure.
But still, regardless.
Yeah, no. Listen, it's just not. I had to take him to task for that, but it was all done in a good-natured way.
Derek, when you talk about music, it's never good-natured. You're always going for the throat.
No, I get grumpy. I do. I admit it. All right, we better move on before I get grumpy here. All right, the Beatles do not.
Derek, who is your favorite boy band?
I don't have one. I think they all pretty much suck. I really don't have a favorite. Menudo? I don't know.
Wow.
I know that's going back, isn't it? Menudo. That's a joke. That's a joke, people. I don't know a single Menudo song. All right.
Milli Vanilli? What about them?
It's not really a boy band, is it?
Not really.
That's
it's two
duo.
Dudes. Two dudes singing, kind of.
It's two dudes lip syncing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's be accurate here.
Johnny says the Monkees?
They played their own instruments too.
Did they? I thought the joke was that they didn't play their own instruments.
No, they did. They did.
Oh, no shit.
Yep.
Look at that.
Hey, we're the Monkees.
Oh, they're Hansoning it up. It's like they got the instruments. Do you remember? You probably don't remember, but do you remember in the 90s when Hanson first came out?
They played their own instruments.
No, the little kid, the drummer, would play the entire music video with no drums. He just had sticks.
Oh,
going like this.
But I thought the other two knew how to play instruments.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure they do. I mean, they went on to their own. They went on to a rock career, actually, kind of.
Right. So
kind of.
I don't know if I would consider them a boy band, but certainly they were boys when their band started.
by the literal definition.
Right. But they did play their own instruments. So I give them a little more credit for playing your own instrument. Sure. All right.
I was making the joke about the kid that was drumming with no drums.
Well, I'm sure that he was drum syncing, not lip syncing, but drum syncing. Yeah. Didn't know how to play a damn thing. That's all right. We got plenty of those kids at the high school on that.
So, Derek, there are some cultural differences between the America that we live in, and the Europe that we don't live in.
Right.
We always joke around how,
but I have lived in.
Yeah, that's true. You have been there. I've visited. Does that count?
Not really. You got to live there.
Really.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to, when I took a dump, I had to take my toilet paper and throw it into a trash can because you're not allowed to flush toilet paper in Greece.
Oh, well, I've been to Greece, but so briefly, and I was 5. I don't remember.
Specifically Athens. I mean, there may be some working plumbing somewhere else in Greece, but in Athens, the plumbing is not suitable for toilet paper, apparently.
Seems like they got some work to do there.
Man, it's like, man, that
you can't be throwing poop-covered toilet paper into garbages. That's disgusting.
It is disgusting, and then you always take it out every night. Every night, it's gone. But man,
that's totally gross. Yeah, I know it has to do with the plumbing.
Yeah,
and I get it. It's old and it can't handle it. But then fix it. And I know that Greece is not a rich country, and that they've had many, many issues with their economy. So I understand why they haven't fixed it, but at the same time, still gross. That's all I got to say. I'd rather poop in the woods and wipe my ass with leaves and leave them there and walk away than poop on toilet paper in a room that I'm going to be back in and put it in the garbage. That's gross. All right. Anyhow.
That's the way nature had it, Derek. Bears poop in the woods allegedly.
They do.
If you poop in the woods, it's okay too.
Yep. All right, for the 100 of you here, make sure you like, subscribe, share with your grandmother on Twitter and on YouTube. Yes, we're not going to talk about poop the whole time. We are moving on.
We're moving on to other topics of, differences, cultural differences in the United States versus Europe.
Yeah, here we go with Derek Gray. I don't get why Americans associate the motor car with a certain freedom. The USA is unfortunately built for the motor car, not for public transport. Personally, feel much more free without a car when in Germany, Scotland, and walk a lot more just as a matter of course. Well, that is true. I think there should be more public transit here in the United States. I think we should have more trains and buses, and it would be nice. But it's just so vast. I can't imagine having to get on a bus, for instance, and go to work. It would take like 2 hours on a bus to get from there.
Yeah, no.
There's no way I would get there in time, anytime. I'd have to get up at 5 a.m. to do that. It only takes me in a motor car. It only takes me 35 minutes to get to work.
So, yeah. First off, I don't know about you, Derek. I don't associate the motor car with a certain freedom.
No,
I look at the motor. I hate driving.
I hate it too. I hate being on 465. It took me an hour, fucking 20 minutes to get home from work today because everything on the highway was fucked. People were wrecked left and right. It was just ridiculous. Now, this doesn't happen every day, but it happens often enough where you're like, all right, once a week, when I go home from work, I'm going to be fucked. And I'm just going to have to deal with it taking an hour and a half to get home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't associate with driving with freedom. I'd much rather. I'll actually just jump into what I said to him. I said, while I prefer high-speed rails connecting cities, public transport doesn't financially make sense with the bulk of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Most Americans don't associate car with freedom. Maybe when you turn 16, but as an adult, it's merely a tool. Urban sprawl has caused the vehicle to be a necessary tool, but it also adds the ability to defend the country. I didn't go into that by any means.
No, you don't go into that. Yeah,
but the whole point is that I would love for there to be let's just take from a state's level, because it's never going to be federally done, but from a state level, Chicago, Illinois, Indiana, and Kentucky.
Yeah.
Create a high-speed rail between Chicago, Indianapolis, and Louisville.
That would be fucking amazing, dude.
I would love that. I would love to go up to Chicago more, especially for Chicago games. But I would love to just not have to drive ever.
Yes, ever. I hate fucking driving. If you could buy me listen, there's this little sliver of land between highways. Build it there. Build the high-speed rail right in between the highway splits. And you can lift it up a little bit so it's not in the way, and just let that shit go blasting through all the way from Indy to Chicago, all the way from Chicago, by the way, or Indy to Louisville, because Louisville's a great city to visit too. Great museums there. I would love to go there and get there in an hour, an hour and a half, and get the fuck off and go to and taste some bourbon and go to great museums and whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want to drive 2 hours or an hour and whatever it is, 2.5 hours to Louisville. It's not that long.
It's about 2 hours, but then to get to anywhere on the Bourbon Trail, you're looking like 2.5.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not horrible unless there's a wreck. And then it could take 3 or 4 hours. So,
but for me, I don't like being behind the wheel.
I hate it.
I'm just like, I would love to just get into a rail of some form, play a game, watch my phone, watch a movie, listen to music, do something else besides paying attention to some other asshole on the road who might rear end me or run into me or
pull in front of me, or wreck me, or there's some idiots in front of me wrecking that I got to avoid. And that's what you're really worried about. I'm not worried about me. I'm paying attention. My head is not buried in my phone like the complete idiots that are out there. All right. Ajibola Vincent says American geography is another issue, swamps, mountains, etc. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know if Derek Ray gets all that. I mean, he's been here enough times. You think he would get that? And we love Derek Ray. Don't get us wrong. I love his obsession with the Bundesliga. You know, it's great stuff.
Yeah. And Loverrod says, enjoy the tax increase to build that. Like I said, if it's from a state level and you're just you're connecting a couple cities, again, all for the amount of tourism that would increase, the amount of people going up to Chicago, amount of people going to Louisville and Indianapolis would all increase. So I don't know. There's ways to get around it. I mean, yes, there will be a tax increase in order to do it, but that's why I said not to do it at a federal level, because there's no way of doing it at a federal level, financially speaking.
So what you could do if you're in the state of Indiana or Illinois or or if you're the national government, you could say, all right, all of Big Pharma has to cut their commercials by 25%. And all the money they were going to spend on those commercials that we hate watching on TV,
or the radio, or your computer.
All have to go towards this high-speed rail program. I don't know what you do. I'm kidding around, of course. But, hey, I would like to see a lot less commercials about how my fucking dick's going to get harder, but my testicles are going to shrink, and I'm going to commit suicide. So Brett's dreaming of getting
rear-ended.
I don't know if he's dreaming. He seems to be fearing it. All right, let's move on. That's enough. That's enough on Derek Ray. He's a good guy.
All right, so we had this article come out. Why are Americans so bad at soccer?
That's such a stupid question.
Now, this is some Dutch publication on the interwebs.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Derek, you said you didn't read this article.
No, I saw the headline and I'm like, that's clickbait. I'm not reading it. And it's in Dutch. I'm not reading that.
If you had a guess, and I know we kind of talked about it before, but just your initial thought process, what do you think this article would be about?
Well, didn't it mention in the subtitle that it's something about how great the women's soccer team is?
It says the women do a lot better, but American men are anything but known as good football players.
Like anybody at this point knows why that is the case. Anybody that's done like the bare minimum of research knows that Title IX blew up women's soccer before the rest of the world even considered women's soccer to be a thing.
Yeah.
So,
no,
I mean,
I will say the article does go into the fact that Title IX has improved the women's game here stateside. 100% accurate. And the reason that's 100% accurate is because the rest of the world has not flooded itself with finances to improve the women's game up until recently. And that even then you're talking about very select countries.
Right.
But that doesn't tell us why you have to bash the men. I know we have our complaints about the men's game right now. We're going to get into a lot of that stuff today.
It's not
forever.
They just watched us play England in the World Cup. I don't know why they think we're that bad. We're not good. We're in the worst in one of the worst turns we've had in some time. But if you're just basing that comment on if you're basing it on right now, yeah, things look bad. But we just hired Pochettino, so give him a chance. If you're basing it on what you saw at the World Cup, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. I wouldn't call it bad. I'd call it sort of average. Like we got
it was expected. It was expected of us.
We did exactly what we thought we were going to do. We get out of the group, we play a really good team and lose. That's it.
But yeah. So this article, they talk about the women's game. Basically, again, it's talking about Title IX, which is why we talked about earlier. And then on the men's portion, they talk about how Project 2026 Men's World Cup, and they're going to have to make a statement. Also, you see stuff like, Inter Miami with having Messi and the Apple deal. So it's like it's on the rise. But there's legitimately there is no topic here about like why are Americans so bad? Why are the women better than the men? Well, literally there's no talking points here.
Bad article.
It is clicky.
Well, you clicked on it, so they won.
I didn't. Well, we got a good 7 minutes out of it there, Derek. So technically, I think we all won.
Okay.
Maybe not the listeners. The listeners didn't win.
Right. Okay. The listeners did not win. Sorry, guys.
So Daniel on Twitter posted this, and he posted the in quotes that opening line here, where it talks about women doing better than men, etc. U.S. soccer reform quote tweeted him. Here it is right here. This is the women do a lot better there, but the American men are anything but known as good footballers. How is it that one of the largest and richest countries in the world are so bad at this world sport? Well, first off, we dabble into every sport.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that has some effect, but we're not as bad as you're making out to be. So
No, we're not. I mean, we're not. I mean, in 2002, we were a game away from a semifinal, and then we've got out of the group every time. And since then in a World Cup, except for the one we didn't qualify for, which is more than you can say for Germany and Italy, by the way, in the last World Cups.
Italy's missed their last two World Cups, yeah.
But even the ones they've made, they've been out in the first round. So,
outside of the World Cups, they win those. So it's like they win, and then they're out the first round, and
they haven't won for a long time, and they're not going to for a very long time. There is definitely a downturn in Italian soccer. There's no doubt about it.
Everybody has their ups and downs, peaks and valleys.
Well, this seems to be like a pretty long valley for them since they've been really competitive, right?
8 years not making it. Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, Italy. All right, what else? Isn't that Ted Westerfeld U.S. soccer reform?
I think so, but I don't want to say yes or no. They have a lot of the same opinions.
I think it's his group, though, so probably him. Exclusionary, monopolistic, closed. Yeah, that sounds like Ted. Oh, Ted, we love you.
Yeah, as a whole. So because U.S. soccer has a sporting structure which stifles opportunity and hope, this is in reference to the why are Americans so bad at soccer?
Yeah, that totally sounds like that.
It's like you said, it's exclusionary, monopolistic, and closed. Time for pro and rel in U.S.
I mean, when you've known a guy at least text-wise for whatever it's been, 15 years, you kind of know what he sounds like. Unless this is a kind of like Mikey Varas was a Berhalter disciple. Unless this guy is a disciple of Ted's, but he sounds a lot like Ted. Anyhow, more power to you, Ted, for fighting this battle for like 15 years. It's been crazy.
Decades, yeah.
He just never went away.
No. He continues his point. And at some point, I feel maybe in the future, maybe decades from now, maybe there will in fact be promotion relegation. And he could sit there and say, in his retirement home saying, I told you so.
Yep. We've recently reconnected, but we haven't really.
Actually, don't even know how old Ted is.
We haven't come back together and discussed anything recently.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons. I know what his thing is, and he could probably care less because his thing is not what my thing is. Like I don't walk around talking about pro rel 24/7. It's not my thing.
Not your shtick? Okay.
It's not my shtick. Our good friend Adam says, is this a USSF thing? They aren't controlling MLS, correct? I am not informed here. Please update me, but should we be angry at U.S. soccer because of the MLS model? I mean, technically, Adam, there is a FIFA mandate that does require pro rel.
USSF has subsidized MLS for decades. On top of that, they're the ones that hand out the sanctions. They easily could rectify this tomorrow if they wanted to, but they're not going to because that's where the money's at.
So FIFA looked past the fact that there was no pro rel because they were so desperate in the 90s to get pro soccer back in the U.S. that they gladly gave USSF at the time a pass on the pro rel regulations. You don't have to do it. Just get a pro league started. All right. Now we're 20 plus years into MLS. Are they going to change that overnight? Is FIFA going to suddenly? Is FIFA going to wake up one morning? Is little baby Infantino going to wake up one morning and go, where U.S. must have pro rel or we will desanction U.S. soccer? I don't think that's going to happen.
There's a lot of money in the United States.
There's too much fucking money here. They don't want to fuck with that shit.
Yeah.
They just don't want to fuck with that. So no, I think that you can blame U.S. soccer, but in the end, MLS is way more powerful at this point than U.S. soccer is. They have way more money and way more billionaires in their group than U.S. soccer. U.S. soccer had to just recently go out and beg 2 billionaires to help them pay off Chelsea's gardening leave fund.
Yes.
A portion of the gardening leave fund to release Pochettino from Chelsea. People just seem to think we're only paying his salary. We had to go there and bargain with Chelsea and say, all right, how much do you want from us so you will release him from his contract?
We're going to talk about this later, but in the article you had sent to me, did you read the article to find out what the price tag was?
No.
He was getting paid $14 million from Chelsea.
Right. So how much of that did we pay off for them to let him go? 12?
Chelsea's
10?
Chelsea's apparently paying the remainder of his salary off in monthly installments. So I imagine it's got to be a decent chunk of it.
I mean, I don't know what Chelsea settled for. Half? And I don't know what the standard would be as well. Like, how much are they willing to accept so they could write it off the eventual cap so they weren't busting the bank as far as the rules go now on financial fair play, right? So they were probably happy to get rid of whatever that chunk was the U.S. soccer paid for. But I'm guessing they drove a hard deal. I'm sure they drove a hard deal. I'm sure they just didn't take whatever offer U.S. Soccer had. That's why it took a month, right? A month. Not only did it take a month for the negotiations, but also Batson had to fly back to the United States and start getting on the horn with his billionaires and making some deals about, listen, this is how much they want from us. This is how much he's going to require salary-wise a year. Mr. Griffin, what are you willing to pitch in, Mr. CEO? And then he had another billionaire. Like, for those two guys, it's pocket change. But their names have been in the papers now and in stories, multiple stories all over the internet. So everybody knows. And then when JT Batson was interviewed by Peacock before the game, he totally went out of his way to mention and thank the two big-ass billionaires for their support and for their funding to help get this deal done. So I think they're going to get praised for a while. And as far as somebody else said, the Griffin guy is a huge fan of soccer. In fact, he at one point was interested in buying Chelsea before Bowley did. So, take that with a grain of salt. I don't know how true that is. But so he's a soccer fan and he wants to see U.S. soccer do well. So he was willing to pitch in. I mean, when you're a billionaire and $8 million, here you go. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal. All right.
I feel the same way too, right? When you're 100 air, $8, what's the difference?
Right. If you're 100 air, right. You got to buy good butter.
Yeah, butter. Yeah. David D says should have been a 10-year exemption for pro rel. Instead, basically saying when MLS came into fruition, FIFA should have said, "Hey, we're going to give you a pass for 10 years." Well, but at that point, we need to start seeing some of that relegation promotion shenaniganry.
Let me tell you what really happened here. The reason they could have even thrown that 10-year exemption on there if they wanted to. But what happened was, as you well know, Brett, too, the league almost folded not long before starting.
Mm-hmm.
They expanded.
You had a couple teams owning multiple teams.
Yeah. Right. They expanded the league. The Mutiny. What's the one with the bat symbol? Fusion. Anyhow, who?
Fusion.
Who were the bats? They had a bat.
Mutiny
had the bats. Okay. So
Fusion were the other Florida team.
You had Chivas folding, the Mutiny folding. The league looked like it was about to go under. So FIFA totally backed off and said, you guys just save it. Just save it. And the guys that came in to pour the money in to save it and keep investing said, well, then get out of our fucking jockstrap and let us do it our way. Don't even come out with any talk about pro rel or anything. We're going to do this the American way. We're going to make a closed system.
American.
Very NFL closed system. That's what we're going to do.
Nice accent there.
And it's going to be a franchise system like McDonald's, right? So that's what they did, and FIFA got out of the way. And that's what happened, folks. All right. It should have been David D, but too much bad shit happened in between. So.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're going to move over this real quick just so that I can pull up the next segment here.
Nothing like going against Thursday Night Football, folks.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate all 127 of you across 2 platforms. Make sure you go down there, hit that like.
It's now 133. Hit that notification. It's now 133. You blew it, Brett.
I need to overcompensate just like you do.
I don't think we always see the same numbers, oddly enough. Anyhow, I don't know how that updates.
Mine's showing 130 right now.
Mine shows 133.
Yeah, well, I'll take your number.
I'll take mine too. All right.
Yeah, three more is a big number. I mean, you start talking about things, yeah.
It's the magic number. Just ask De La Soul. Yes, it is. It's the magic number. Somewhere in that hip hop soul community. Blah, 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 blah. It's not 3. It's the magic number. I don't know the goddamn song. All right, anyhow, we'll move on.
Transfer news. Transfer news. Who's getting mounted on transfer news? Who's getting over on transfer news? Transfer news. Everyone loves that transfer news but me. Whatever.
Who's getting fucked on transfer news? Transfer news. Sounds like Reggie Canon found a job. Good for him.
Hey-o.
Tom, don't bogart that joint, my friend. Breaking news: Colorado Rapids have miniaturized signed American defender.
Sorry, I made this page on a different screen. I forgot that. Yeah.
I'm finally getting over that flu, though. Have signed American defender Reggie Canon. Per sources, Canon 26 is 28 caps with the U.S. men's national team. Owes a buttload money to his former team in Portugal. Left QPR this summer. I added a statement in there that should have been in there. Left QPR this summer. No. Left QPR was released by QPR this summer. Was a free. He left, not by his own.
Good
account.
one.
Yeah, I love it. Let's rose this up. Let's pat it with some flowers. I'm told his agreement to leave QPR was set on August 18th, making him eligible to be signed. His agreement. I'm told his release by QPR was set for August 14, making him eligible to be signed as a free agent now. All right, so that didn't work out at QPR. If you watched him play at QPR, it didn't work out at QPR. It didn't work out when he was riding Pine at QPR. It was not a good thing for him. Hopefully going back to MLS will be better for him. I don't see any future going forward for him with the U.S. men's national team. For Reggie Canon lovers, sorry to say that, but when I see it, I'm calling it out. And if I am ever wrong, have yet to been wrong by calling out like Conrad and other players, Sebastian Soto and others that I said have no shot in hell of ever playing for the U.S. men's national team again, I will eat crow. And until then, that's what we're living on here.
Yeah. So Derek, I was like, man, the numbers a little strange. The number of people watching us right now is a little strange. It seems low. And you mentioned, obviously Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
I looked up to the top right-hand corner by the end stream button. Guess what I didn't see?
What?
I didn't see the Twitter feed.
Oh, shit.
So I added it. Now people can watch Twitter. We're up to 137.
We forgot to add the Twitter feed. Oh, no.
I clicked the button, man. I clicked the button. It just didn't take, I guess. I didn't push the button hard enough.
I guess not. You got to really, really pound on that thing.
Massage that button, yeah.
Oh, and immediately up to 150. All right, here we go. Sorry, guys on Twitter. Our bad. All right.
When he says our bad, he means my bad.
Well, yeah, you didn't pound it hard enough.
Pound it hard enough? Yeah.
That's what she said. All right. Nikolai Kalanic on offers for Hajduk Split players. Parma made a wonderfully cheesy offer of 7 million euros for Puka, which was rejected because they are expecting 10 million. That's not really that far apart. That was the only offer besides the one for Sahiti. So not like a lot of offers coming for Puka yet. I think 7 million as well. I think that's a fine price, but
yeah,
but if Hajduk Split wants more, they want more. So he's just gonna have to play this season out and do really well.
I guess I don't know what type of transfer prices are coming out of the Croatian league as a whole. I mean, is 7 million a reasonable offer?
Oh yeah.
I would think so. I mean, I can't imagine all the lesser leagues in Europe take their artificially inflate their asking prices like the MLS does. But I mean, if Puka was at MLS, man, you'd be looking like 15, 16 mil.
I think it's mostly also it's like, listen, we think if he sticks around even longer, he could be worth 15 mil. So why are we going to sell him now for 7? Like, they must think very highly of him. Obviously they do. He's a kid.
No.
He starts every game. He scores goals. He's one of their best players. So yeah, they don't want to get rid of him unless they get rid of him for a really good price. I think they've got dollar signs in their eyes there at Hajduk Split.
Well, I mean, he's contractually obligated there until June of 2027. So
yep. So they're not going to let go.
Nickel and dime that shit. Yeah.
They want to see a really maybe an absurd Chelsea offer for him. Maybe that's what they're looking for.
I think they are.
Yep.
They're gonna hope he continues to perform well and open eyes of other big, deeper pocketed players.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh my God! The chat is talking about Haitians eating dogs and cats. Really? Why are we doing that, guys?
I mean, do I look like Trump and does Derek look like Kamala? What's this? Does he look like Kamala? That guy over there?
Listen, the plain fact of the matter is, yes, there have been instances that I have personally watched of that. There was the guy at the council meeting who reported it to the council members. There was the lady sitting down who was arrested for the cat thing. It's not, I don't know how rampant it is, though. I mean,
photos of people walking around with geese in their hands, and
I've heard that report too.
Don't know if it's legit from Ohio. Maybe it's from Pennsylvania. I don't know.
No, it's the same guy at the council meeting who reported that. African American guy who's like, here's what I'm seeing, and he's like, don't blame them. Don't blame them. They're just, they are coming from a country where that's what they do to provide food for themselves. They're starving there.
We could take here in India, at least we could take a couple Haitians, to cull the Canadian geese population. I'd be happy with that.
There are a lot of geese here.
There are a lot of stupid geese here. Yes.
Yeah, go try to play golf. It's like walking a landmine of geese poop.
It's just a horde of geese walking through. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
in my neighborhood right now. Yes.
Yes, and on Fox Prairie Golf Course that I play every weekend with my mom. So
it's probably the same flock.
Well, it's one gigantic group of different flocks because they don't all hang out together. There's like groups of 30, I would say, generally. Anyhow, whatever.
Casey says, hey, don't bring Pennsylvania into this.
Let's not talk about that, guys, because I mean, I don't know what the point of it would be. I mean, there's so many bigger things than reported Haitians eating geese. Listen, I love my cat and my dog when I had him, obviously, and I would kill a motherfucker if he tried to eat my dog. There's no doubt about it. But,
a member of the family. Take one of my kids instead. Come on.
Let's just hold back.
I'm joking.
Let's hold on. Let's see how rampant this really is. Is it just a few instances right now? That's what I think I'm hearing. Is it more than that? I don't know.
John says Europeans eat horse meat.
Yeah, it's gross.
It's meat. I mean, we assume a horse. I mean, it's been a vital, animal to.
It's a working animal.
Yeah, it seems strange, but I guess it is all meat in the end.
But do you really?
Is the horse meat tough? I mean,
I don't know. I've never had it. Is it delicious? I don't know. If it's delicious, maybe. But anyhow, don't have a real opinion on it yet. Gotta wait. And but I just think I don't want to make the whole comment section about cats and dogs being eaten. I think you guys just lay off on that one. All right, for the almost 200 of you here now, since we opened Twitter, make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with your grandma. And welcome you Twitter folks here, because apparently we forgot to hit the Twitter button.
This was actually a social experiment, Derek. We just wanted to see how many people were actually going to join us from Twitter.
Well, I'm sure there are lots of people on Twitter who are like, what the fuck? I can't watch the show. What's going on?
Yeah.
All right. All right.
All right. We're going to move on to this last window. You and I covered the U.S.-Canadian game, but obviously we did not cover the U.S.-New Zealand game. You were on.
I did.
You were on with Tact, and I had practice, and I got home in time to see, oh, yeah, that's right, there's a game on tonight, as I'm watching Derek and Tact talk about the game.
You didn't miss much.
I jumped into the game. I saw that it was 1-0. We'll get into the game in just a second, but I do want to kind of talk about a couple things about the window real quick.
Okay.
So update on Gio Reyna.
Update on Gio. Okay. Gio Reyna will miss the Dortmund-Heidenheim game on Friday. Not surprising. Will Maloney miss it too? I guess that's not important enough to report, Derek Ray.
Yeah, come on, Derek. What that? I'll say Ray because otherwise I'm calling you out.
Derek Ray. Come on, Derek Ray.
Come on.
BVB coach Nuri Sirhan added that the U.S. men's national team player was sad when he spoke with him, and his absence will run into weeks. Yeah, I'm sure he's like, listen, the last time he was carted off the field 2 years ago when he had a big major, when he was crying like you get it. He wants to play. He wants to desperately play, and he knows this is going to set his ass back. And he knows how important it is now with the new coach to get out there and get healthy and get minutes. He knows this. And so I'd be sad too if I were him. What's he supposed to fucking joke around and be happy about being injured again? No. And now we do have to seriously consider how serious this injury is. And does that now put him into the injury-prone discussion? We'll get to that as soon as we know how serious this injury is. Because if he's only going to miss one game, it's not that serious.
Well, I mean, technically missed 2 prior to that.
Okay.
I mean, USA games.
Yeah, no, those don't count. I'm talking his club team. How many club team games does he miss? He's been healthy for the U.S. quite a long time now, for 2 years. So not a big deal there. But club team, stay healthy. And he's been healthy for them for 2 years, just hasn't played much. So
I think the run the week is a precaution on Dortmund's end here.
No, and it should be. I mean, better safe than sorry.
Yeah. Especially early in the season. Okay.
BMR says it says weeks, Derek, though. Derek. Yeah, I don't know, but Derek Gray's coming out and saying, "Oh, he's going to miss this game."
Well, I mean, when did the quote actually happen, though? I mean, is he counting the week and some change that happened whenever Gio left camp?
I don't know.
Is that encompassing in the quote unquote weeks?
If it counts the weeks he already missed, then it has been weeks.
I mean, wouldn't it be easy to say, oh, if it's run into weeks, say, well, he's not just going to miss the Friday game, he's going to miss the next 2 or 3 games, you know, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Regardless.
So yeah, Reina is hurt, Al. We don't know how serious it is. It seemed like a pull so far.
Well, we do know. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, Judgmental Deity says Jake dropped a new vid. Gonna have to hate watch. I was gonna watch it, but was up for like 11 hours and only had like 600 views. So I was like, nah, I'm not gonna watch it. And no, that's not an offense to Jake. It's just maybe it's not that good. Maybe it is good, but I got so much other shit to watch right now. I'm not gonna watch that one now.
Is it just about the U.S. men's national team?
I think so. It's about Pochettino.
If you're really going to hate watch it, if that's the case. I mean, guys.
I'm not going to hate. I don't.
No, I'm referring to what Judgmental Deity said.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was saying, guys, watch what you want to watch. It's okay. I mean, if he has a video coming out, he has different takes than we have. I mean.
Not lately.
I know.
Not lately.
He's come to the dark side.
Finally. Yeah. But we don't hate Jake. I mean, I hate Hitler. I hate Stalin. I mean, I'm not a guy that's just hating people left and right. I know that's a common thing to say.
I like to take the snub that we experienced, and I like making light of it.
Right.
Again, it's one of those things where we could have Jake on next show, and I wouldn't have a problem. I mean, I'm not saying we would.
No,
I'm saying I wouldn't have a problem with it.
He's never going to reply to my text.
Whatever, dude. I mean,
okay. He's never going to.
Fucking YouTube. It's come on.
I wrote him and said, "Why'd you write that, dude? That's
whatever, dude.
Like, you want to work this out? Like, give me a call." No,
seriously.
Text me. Nothing. Okay. All right, whatever. Because I had nothing against Jake, and he doesn't know us from a pile of fucking used toilet paper with shit all over it in the garbage. He doesn't know who we are.
Paris to shitty toilet paper from Greece?
No. I'm
full circle there, Derek. I appreciate it.
He doesn't know us from that. Okay. Is what I'm saying. Right?
I got to check.
Okay. So Jake Jake.
Whoa. Jake, hateful there, Derek.
Be well. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't mean to say rest in peace. I meant to say like relax and whatever, and that came out wrong. All right. Yeah, it happens.
All right, let's see. What we got next? Speaking of injuries, Derek, we do know the extent of an injury of a certain fan.
Oh, yeah.
Who got pegged by a ball. Not that kind of pegging, though.
Just looking at her, she's missing. This has got to be one of the most enthusiastic chicks you'll ever meet. I would love to sit by her and watch a game because she'd be screaming her balls off.
Dude.
And and she'd be like, she's just probably a really outgoing kind of person. Yeah.
You know, she's that person, just screaming in the stands because she's so stoked about getting this photo taken of her broken arm. She's like, she's not even upset about it. She's like, this is awesome. Haji Wright did this. Haji Wright did this.
I'm guessing she's on some opiates too.
Oh, I'm sure. Sure, there's some pain pills.
Some painkillers involved with that smile. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that was it Richards who kicked that?
No, it's Haji.
Haji.
Yeah, this guy right here. Oh,
I'm sorry.
That's Chant.
Haji Wright is going to have to mail that fucking signed jersey because he's already back in Europe.
He's not gonna go sign this by any means.
No, but he could send her a signed jersey, and a pic of his dick or whatever turns him on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was pretty cool. That they posted that because her arm's broken. Haji obviously didn't mean to do it, but don't stick your arm out, I guess. Like, how do you get hit by a ball in the stands that breaks your arm? Like, I've taken balls.
You certainly have, Derek. I agree.
When I was playing soccer, I've taken some serious balls, right?
Oh, yeah.
Kicked at high speed in various parts of my body, and I've never broken anything from that.
You didn't rupture a testicle or anything. My guess is he took a shot, and it was going wide, and she stuck her arm out to try to get the ball and cracked.
It wasn't from the ball. I think she hit something else.
No.
Like a bench.
Blocked one of your shots.
No, there's no way that breaks an arm.
Dude, man, women have hollow bones. They're like birds.
Oh, come on. She's not 99. She's like 59. Give me a break. No way that broke her arm, the ball. She broke it she leaned over, tried to catch it. She fell. Her arm landed on a bench, which cracked her arm. That's what really happened. It wasn't this harrowing 99 per hour soccer ball hitting her arm that broke her arm. No way. Not buying it. No, don't believe it.
Al Weinstein says you can break someone's arm with a ball. You've seen it many times.
Dude, I've been hit.
Fumar even says their bones are less dense, I believe is what.
Who's there, Fumar? Who's there?
Women in general. It's science.
Old white women?
Women in general it's science.
Okay, listen, she's not that old. Look at her. She's like 50-something.
I mean, they're not man bones. Of course, they're not going to break on a man.
Whatever. She's also got extra padding. She's not exactly thin.
Whoa, Derek.
I'm just saying.
Reel that back.
No way that Haji ball broke her arm. Sorry, no.
Think there's no name here, but I'm sure you're a very lovely lady, despite what Derek says. And I think the ball did in fact break her bone.
Fumar keeps saying women have less dense bones. I know that, but they're not made of foam. For Christ's sake. Come on, Brett. What's your problem, dude?
It's science, Derek.
Well, it's not.
Don't deny science.
You're egging me on, and I'm not biting. So let's move on to the next segment.
Derek. Do it.
All right. She's a hottie, says Jeff Carey. She's a hottie. All right. At least we found a woman that Jeff Carey is attracted to. This is a step in the right direction. For the 235 of you who are, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma. Welcome to all the Twitter people that we unintentionally blocked from the show earlier.
Every single one of you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh,
yeah. Well, it's
all right.
Actually, pretty significant.
It bounced. It bounced by about 100. I know.
Mm-hmm.
So Derek. Obviously, at different times, we both watched the U.S. versus New Zealand game, and we're gonna go into this a little bit and talk about it, and then we'll get into our main topic, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. What's your overall take? I didn't get to listen to you and Tack talk about it, so
here's my take.
Okay.
It's Greg Ball.
Hey.
It's We're playing Greg Ball.
No, Derek, because so here's the. I'm gonna say the one thing that struck my mind when I first started watching the game. because I didn't realize that Sargent had an ankle injury, which begs the other fucking question, man.
I know.
What's happening there? We had GL, we have Sarge, who are both just, I don't know. I don't even want to get into this right now. So Mikey's decision is to play Pepe out wide. And of course, he's played out wide for PSV a number of times. But if we're going to play Greg ball, wouldn't you want to have your actual target man play the quote-unquote 9 role and have the guy who wants to slot in between the defense be more out wide?
You think?
Why couldn't Pepe and Haji, no, sorry, Haji, sorry,
and
Pepe and Ballo switch spots?
Yep.
I think that would have solved all the fucking problems in the attack, at least.
And here's the other thing that's interesting. The only time that Pepe's played out wide for PSV, it has been at left winger, not right.
Because he could cut in with his right.
That's correct.
Hey.
So here we are. Here's when the roster was announced. I came out.
In front of your face. Oh, way too close now.
Anyhow, I had here's what I had: Turner at goalkeeper, Lund at left, Fossey at right, McKenzie and Richards as center backs, Haji out left in a 4-4-2, Aronson out right in this 4-4-2, Musa and Morris playing kind of like it almost looked like a 4-2-2-2. Right.
Wait, this was before the roster was announced?
No,
the lineup?
After the roster was announced, but
gotcha.
Before I saw the game.
Gotcha.
So I thought we were going to play a 4-2-2-2 with Morrison, Musa holding, Haji out left, Aronson out right, and Ballo and Pepe up top together. And then, oh my God, dude, Max, what the dude? Did you watch the game? We didn't play a 4-4-2. Don't read.
No, not even close. Not even close.
Don't read my Twitter and then take that as gospel. No, I read below it where I said, well, I got that fucking wrong. Because I said we might be seeing a 4-4-2 tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And then some people took it literally. And no, we did not. We played a 4-2-3-1. And yes, we had Pepe playing right wing and Wright playing left wing. And fucking Balogun playing the center. And we had Aronson playing the 10. And Musa and Morris holding in the midfield. Okay. Weird-ass lineup is all I had to say. That's a weird-ass setup is what I said, actually. Setup. So that's what that is. That's a fucking weird-ass setup.
It was strange. I mean, why? I mean, I know Pepe got the goal in the first half. That should have been a goal. I still am bamboozled why that was actually called off, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't get that one either.
He was in an offside position initially, but who's the guy that played it to him?
But it was not for offsides. It was for a foul.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh,
because there was a little tangle at the beginning of the when the pass was made to Pepe.
Bullshit. It was bullshit regardless. It's Fossey.
Either way, if it was either one of those things, bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on both.
100%. So it was funny because when I saw you and Tag talking, I already saw that it was a 1-0 at the time. So then I'm watching the game, and then Pepe scores. Shit, that must have been the goal. Okay. Maybe Sarge will come in later, but obviously the injury, blah, blah.
Yeah, you didn't know about it yet.
I was distraught for about 80 minutes of the game. I'm like, why isn't Sargent in the game?
Yeah.
And finally, I was like, I'm going on Twitter. Okay. Oh, he's injured. Okay.
Well, so here's the news on that. Norwich basically sent them a note saying, listen, you know about this ankle thing. It's been going on for a year now. Please, if it pops up in practice in any way, do not play him.
Mm-hmm.
Please, God, help us. Do not do it. And they didn't. They're being respectful of Norwich, which I totally get. And I don't even know how bad it was. It could have just kind of been one of the things that have happened to him through the season with Norwich, where on occasion he gets dropped out of the starting lineup because they're like, yeah, his ankle sucked. Like, I don't know when he's going to take the time, and maybe this would have been the window to do it, to just get that ankle fixed. What I hear is the ankle needs surgery, but doesn't want to do it. He thinks he can play through this and it will get better because he's got like a couple different people telling him different things. Some people are saying, just go get surgery and get it fixed. Some people are saying, play through it, take rest, don't do much of practice, and it'll probably heal on its own. I don't know. This could be a long-term thing with him with his ankle. So we'll see.
So again, talking about the game, I don't know why Mikey decided to play. What's up?
You swallowed a fly?
Yeah, I don't know why he swallowed a fly. Perhaps he'll die.
Well,
as far as the song goes, as far as Minecraft.
Right.
That's serious.
It's an old song. I used to sing it in kindergarten.
1820, huh?
Yes, we used to sing a lot of weird shit like what
Ring Around the Rosie.
No, I told the weirdest thing and the most like perverse one was what do you do with the drunken sailor early in the morning? Put him in the blood with the captain's daughter. Put him in the blood with the captain's daughter. So they take
that's because you're a good wingman, Derek.
They take the drunken soldier and they throw him in bed with the captain's daughter. So the captain's going to throw him off the plank the next morning. What are you talking about? That's not what you do with the poor drunken sailor. You give him comfort. You put him in bed. You say, dude, you're really drunk. Sorry about that. Here's some Gatorade. I know they didn't have that back then, but you do something like that. Anyhow, go ahead, Brett. Sorry.
Yeah. So I'm not sure why Aronson started at the 10 over Tillman. I think that's a little silly. I mean, I know he kind of plays that role for Leeds but
here's what Mike Ybarra said.
The whole thing shuffled everybody about.
Here's what Mike Ybarra said in the press conference prior. He said, I want to give everybody a look who deserves a look.
Dude, you are an intern for 2 fucking games. Fuck off.
He's basically saying, this is what he basically said, is listen, there's a new manager coming in. I wanted this new manager to get a look at everybody. And it could have been coming down from Poach. I want to see everybody play. So I get like a first look at everybody, right? He doesn't know these guys from Adam's nutsack. So, sorry, Stan. All right.
Well, you don't have to worry about that. I mean, Aronson had a look in the first game, and you can still have him have a look in the second game by starting him over Pepe at right wing, but whatever.
I mean, I agree. It's a little much Aronson in one window. I agree.
Hey, maybe, we saw Balogun all of first game. Maybe we, try Haji at center forward, maybe, or maybe start Pepe for love of God. In that sense, I would have loved it again, seen Sargent, but again, I hate being a dead horse here. But
if Mikey Varas wasn't such a Berhalter cocksucker, aka disciple, he would have played a 4-4-2 and played 2 strikers up top.
Yeah.
By the way, back when Pochettino was at Espanyol, he didn't do it often. Back when he was with Tottenham, and he didn't do it often, but he did do it. He has played a 4-4-2, a 4-2-2-2 that you like. So we'll see what happens. I'm not saying we're going to see that. Obviously, he has been a mostly 90% of the games he has ever set up at. He has played a 4-2-3-1, Pochettino. Here's the difference with Pochettino. His 4-2-3-1, the wingers are more like forwards. They're not as wide. They're more tucked in. And he really relies on the wingers to give them the left back and right back to give them wet width. So wet. That's actually what a duck's balls are called. Anyhow, it's my bad on that one. So it could be very different. We'll see how that works. Like if you think about the way his teams have played, it makes sense. He's going to want Pulisic to be more in the middle of the field than out wide. But then does that leave a player like Weah kind of off the table going forward? So because he's not a guy that really tucks in well and takes on players in the inside. He's better on the outside. So do you put a guy out wide who can do that? And who is that? Who Who the fuck is that?
We could see the likes again of Balogun playing out wide, and you have because from what I understand, he expects his 9 to play more along the lines of Kane in the sense of pinching back and moving around, not necessarily playing the true striker role per se.
Well, if that's the case, he'll want Sargent or Pepe or somebody who can hold up the ball and distribute, right?
And
By the way, Brett, for the 269 of you who are just here and now it's 275, damn it. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it with grandma, and reach over and tap your stepsister on her thigh and just say, baby, I love you. I really do. Regardless of what Greg did to this team. I really do love you. All right.
Anybody in the game against New Zealand really stand out for you?
Thinking. Haji, Aronson, no, not really, but Aronson didn't have a total piss poor game. Morris was pretty decent. Musa, man, I have some concerns there.
What has happened to Musa? He used to, receive the ball, turn on a dime, and take on a couple players and pass the ball out. Now it just seems like he dribbles and gets dispossessed. That seems to be his MO right now.
I think it's a little bit of overconfidence on his part against lower teams or lesser teams. And he has never really grown beyond like 2 years ago. Like, he's still the same player. He's not much different. He has never learned how to operate in the final third or deliver that killer pass. And you
can bypass that killer pass by keep shooting from outside, like 30 yards out. I mean, it seems like every time he tries to take those long shots, it is like inches away from going in.
Or he hits the post. We see him hit the post. So BMR, you're right. Musa really good at almost bangers.
Almost.
So listen, there is an extra step he needs to take. It's not too late for him to do it because it's not like he doesn't have the footy skills. He does. What he lacks is vision and wisdom. And what would they call that? Vision. Now, those are, if you were going to ask me, okay, can he become a greater technical player at his age at this point? Maybe a little, but probably not much more.
The technicality itself is perfectly fine, quite frankly.
Yeah, he's not going to get any better technically at this point going forward, but he could get he could grow a higher soccer IQ. That is still possible. He could do that and be able to eventually figure out how to find people who are open in the final third. Who is the American version of that? Played for Atlanta United, now plays for Columbus. He had the same problem earlier in his career. Nagbe had the same exact problem early in his career. He was really good carrying the ball, but in the final third, he was garbage. Now, these days, he's much better at that. I do not want, however, Musa to start figuring that in his 30s. He needs to figure it out now.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't want to wait another 10 years or 8 years for him to figure that out. And then other players, McKenzie, I got to give him credit. Standing out. Did he make some mistakes? Yes, but standing out, like who besides Tim Ream in our center back position takes the ball, dribbles it for 20 yards, and finds a pass?
I'll definitely give him that. He definitely progressed the ball better than any of our center back options. That's including Chris Richards at this point.
And I really feel like he was told to do that. Like, listen, I want you to do what Ream does. You need to provide that. When you get the possession, if they're leaving it wide open, advance the ball forward and make a pass.
What Ream used to do. Because what he does now, what Ream does now is he sits on the ball and sits there for like 20 seconds and then makes an errant pass. We don't need that.
Listen, the last two windows with Ream are not good. And if he had any chance of staying in the conversation, he pretty much ruined it going forward. Not to say that he still won't be called in for old man vibes and veteran vibes. He just won't be a starter if somebody else can lay a fucking claim to the other center back spot, because no one has. But McKenzie finally made an argument.
I'm fine with McKenzie, quite frankly, and the one goal that happened, unfortunate on his part, quite frankly, that his clearance happened to go bang right into the dude's face. What was Turner doing out like 8 yards off the line? I
have no inkling.
What was he doing that far out? I understand being off your line, but the guy made a long ball to just above our 18, and he's sitting like 8 yards off the line.
I don't get it.
What was he doing?
I have no idea what he was doing there. It's like he became a first baseman all of a sudden in baseball. Yeah. Like he forgot how to play soccer. It was just atrocious.
I corrected Puka because Cranks was making a defense for McKenzie on that play, and I go, well, you know what? Turner would have saved that. Oh wait, that's the whole joke with Nottingham Forest. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that on Twitter. Every time Forest would get scored on, people would be like, Turner would have saved it.
Well, I don't think you would have to ask yourself where Schulte would have positioned himself. I don't know.
I think in a better spot, but I mean that's just me guessing, of course.
I don't know who said it. Might have been Fumar, but he said Brooks is still the best center back. Okay, well, here's the thing. For Brooks to be considered next year, Hertha Berlin will have to be at the top of the fucking table at the Bundesliga and absolutely destroying everybody. The fact that Brooks took a contract with his old team instead of finding a Bundesliga team, not a 2 Bundesliga team, but a Bundesliga team, is going to hurt him. It just is. He's going to be buried. Like, how many games are broadcast? 2 Bundesliga games are broadcast easily to find. Like, we struggled every weekend to find a Greuther Fürth game we could watch. And I think I watched like 8 of them last season in total on ESPN Plus. So they do pop up. And when they pop up, I watch them. And that's why I became such a fan of what's his face at center back there. Max Dietz. And I was really surprised in this window that he was not signed, because I had told you, I really think somebody's going to sign him in the Bundesliga going forward. He's a very high ceiling player. Nope. Still at Greuther Fürth. And I don't know any of the details about his contract, so I don't know how hard it would have been to sign him in the first place or what they were demanding. So, yeah, I mean, we'll figure out what Brooks can do here for Hertha this season. I'm sure he's going to be a starter, in the next coming weeks. They just signed him, so I'm sure, in the next game coming up this weekend. Is it this weekend? Should be. We should find out
this weekend.
Yeah, we should find out if Brooks immediately claimed a starting role.
I mean, we know that Gio is going to miss this Friday's game against Heidenheim, so I imagine Bundesliga 2 is going to be underway as well.
Yeah, for sure. And the sad thing about that Derek Ray post is like, okay, you're posting about Reyna, I get it, but some of us do give a shit about Maloney. Could you give us an update on Maloney's back injury?
Yeah.
It would have been nice to hear if he's back, because I will tell you this. If Poch is looking for another pure destroyer besides Adams on this team, that's Maloney. And he was called up to this last team before he was injured, and that ended up having, for Morris's benefit, him being called up instead of Maloney.
And I think Morris made the most
of it. He did.
I think his stock went way up this window, oddly enough, because there's not much stock going up this window.
Right. And then the other guy, Fossey.
Yep. I'm waiting for him to be brought up here.
Had a great second half. Very good second half, I think.
I thought he was fine all game, quite frankly.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of a hidden gem playing there in Belgium with Standard Liège. That's Gooch's old team.
Yep.
And they used to be top at the tops for many years while Gooch was there in Belgium. And they're kind of fighters for the tops now, not necessarily as much of a given with Genk and everybody else doing what they're doing, and Antwerp, et cetera, et cetera. So it's going to be a battle this season to see who's going to come out on top there in Belgium. And he's a regular starter for this Standard Liège team when he is healthy. And I thought he looked pretty good. He looked good going forward. He looked quick. He looked wily. He looked agile. You know,
well,
just like the games I watched him, the few games that were on ESPN Plus.
We have to take into consideration it was against New Zealand. They really didn't have that many opportunities going forward. We maintained most of the possession. So I know, like Davies had posted it on his on whatever the CBS broadcast that he was a part of or whatever, and he had posted the passes between Scally and the passes between by Fossey. Of course, we're talking about two totally different teams. We're talking about Canada and New Zealand. So of course, at New Zealand, we were going to be more in the attack, and we were in their offensive half, our offensive half. Let me rephrase that. More often than not. So but saying that, his style of play, I think, better suits what's going to be expected as a right back option than Scally, because Scally is more defensive minded and less offensive minded. So this does beg the question, especially with Des being out, as far as the Fossey versus Scally battle moving forward.
Can I just give very small props to Mikey Varas here?
Sure, go for it.
Who, during the Greg Berhalter era, has even mentioned a breath, a whisper of the name Marlon Fossey? No one.
We've talked about it. Not in the Berhalter.
No. We've talked about it.
What's that?
I'm talking about the Berhalter staff.
And I'm with you on that. That's what I'm saying. I followed up with saying that. Oh,
fuck us. Who cares the fuck we say? I'm just saying, who on the Berhalter staff ever mentioned Fossey's name? We started to wonder if he even knew Fossey existed.
That's mind-boggling.
Here, Varas not only calls him up, but gives him a start. So, yeah, fuck Varas' whole Berhalter system fucking shit. Oh, that's bullshit. But I do give him credit for calling up Fossey and then giving him a fucking start.
Yeah.
That 100%. I give Varas credit for. And I can only say this to San Diego. Good the fuck luck in MLS as Mikey Varas is your head coach. Because if he's going to come out and play Berhalter ball, he's going to be fired within, I would say, a season. He will be fired. He will be fired because that shit's so predictable. The way he plays is so predictable. And I don't think anybody, as you notice, has in MLS is like titillated, excited, rubbing their nipples or their balls about hiring Greg Berhalter. Have you noticed that?
No.
And there are plenty of shitty teams in MLS with shitty records. Wouldn't you think?
Just experiencing what we're seeing with Poch and Chelsea, do you think it's possible that that given that Berhalter gets fired and that they still have to pay the remainder of his contract out, that maybe there's no MLS team willing to shell the money out for that?
I don't think that there's an issue with that.
We continued playing Klinsmann, so I imagine that the same aspects would be there.
No, I do think that I'm just conjecture, but I do believe in the clause with Berhalter's contract when he was rehired that if he got fired, he, if hired by another team, his contract would be released. It's not like he was going to go on. By the way, gardening leave is a very European thing. It's not like here. Like if you get fired in the United States from your job and somebody else wants to hire you and you still have a year left on your other contract, nobody has to pay shit. You just hire the dude and pay him that money. There's no gardening leave in that regards in MLS and U.S. soccer.
Just saying. I mean, like I said, it worked for Klinsmann. We paid that shit for an additional 2 years.
Right, because nobody else wanted him.
Sure. I'm
but in this case,
go ahead.
But in this case, nobody wants Greg either.
That's fine. I mean, if Greg's making $2.3 million from the U.S. a year, what MLS team is going to offer him more?
We're all these Mexican and MLS teams that were so interested in Greg, apparently, when he was unemployed earlier.
Club America would pay more than $2.3 million a year?
It's all his agent putting that shit out.
I'm just saying. That was the rumors. That's what you said, and I agree that there was no interest. I'm just saying that maybe if Greg's looking at going, I'm making 2.3 to sit on my ass and watch games on the weekend.
Well, maybe he does need a break, but even when he's done with his break, I'd be really surprised that he gets immediately hired by somebody in MLS.
Some MLS team will not.
I'm just saying the way he plays is so predictable. It like everybody knows that now.
Fucking Clopas, so what do you?
That's what I'm saying.
Somebody. There's always going to be somebody.
Could that be a step up for Chicago for sure? Yeah. Berhalter would probably be a step up from Klopas, no doubt about it.
At this point, I'll take it. But
all right, for the 300 of you that are watching, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandmother. Lean over, give your stepsister a kiss. If your stepsister's not there, give her our best. Write her a text. Let her know we're thinking about her and that we think that whatever you two have together is super positive. All right, Jeff Carey says for $1.99. Brett, Derek said you attended FetishCon this year. Brett, Derek said you attended FetishCon.
It was more enjoyable than PeggingCon, which is what Derek said I attended as well.
I might have got the two mixed up. They don't have
that many pegging cons. Come on. You gotta they expand upon it. It's not like there's like a Comic-Con in New York and a Comic-Con in San Diego and all these other places. It's not that big of an audience for pegging. Come on.
Yeah, but Evie does sign you up for those, and then she's like, "Get on the plane, bitch." You know. So.
Sure.
All right.
Happy life.
I guess, right? What a sore asshole. All right, Johnny, for $2. Talk more trash on Jake or others, please. We've done our bit on Jake. I don't think I can go any further than that.
Yeah, his haircut is stupid. Oh.
He doesn't have hair. But you're not one to criticize, honestly.
No. He shaves his head. That's different than not having any hair. Like
you're gonna shave yours soon, though, too.
I am gonna shave mine soon tue. Yeah.
Yeah, I still actually have hair. It's not a lot, but you
should shave it for shits and giggles, Derek.
No way. I'd have a big egg head. No way I'm doing that. All right, I'm already got an egg head as it is.
Shave your head, dye your beard. You're good.
No, I don't think so. No, I'm not dyeing anything because that shit's a lot more complicated than it sounds like.
Plus, it'd be weird for you coming home Friday with gray beard and then coming in Monday to school with a nice dark black beard. Like hey Teach, what's up? What happened?
I was gonna dye my beard, not my beer, my beard. And then I opened up the package. I still have it in my bathroom. And I unfolded it, and it was like the instructions were like a mile long. I'm like, dude, I just got home from work. I'm not fucking doing that. Fuck you. Yeah. All right, Jeff Gary for $1.99. Wrexham is looking good. Thoughts? Wrexham.
Well, people are going to spout off saying that, well, they're just, buying their way up and getting promotion. But you know what? Fuck off of that. Money doesn't buy wins all the time.
Yeah, I don't know if I haven't really watched any. Outside of like a cup game, I think I watched for Wrexham. But I'm not all over the Wrexham, right? I'm just not all over that. I'm just.
I like defending them when people come out and say, "Hey, they're just buying their promotion." I'm like, "Fuck off!" That's the name of the game, quite frankly. So
I'm happy for them,
yeah.
And when the games pop up, I'll watch them on occasion. I don't like mark it on my calendar or anything. So, Brett Oppenheim, thank you for $10. I hope you're doing well, brother. I really do. Yeah. PeggingCon sounds lame, but just out of curiosity, where is that held exactly, Brett? You'll have to tell us.
I believe Derek said it was in Miami, Florida, or something like that, right?
What do you mean? I said you traveled there.
I went to Florida, and you let everybody know that I was attending a PeggingCon. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't believe I ever called it PeggingCon.
You called it something like that, yeah?
No, I mean I thought it was like FetishCon, but in the fetish event, there were different sections of the fetishes.
Well, Derek, this was like back during spring break of this past year. You mentioned this.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
No, you can't remember. You can't remember what you said.
And your butthole has long since healed.
Since healed, yes.
Yes.
Thank goodness.
Thanks, Brett.
Thank goodness for our sponsor, Vaseline.
Yes, indeed. By the way, Brett, time to have you back on at some point. Because, it's time for a conversation about not only the Poach signing, but what you're hearing in the background about how the players feel if you've run into them, or how people in your various meetings at the airports where you run into people that think about these things. I think that would be cool to hear about. So let's do it. Let's sign you up for that. All right. What else we got, Brett?
We are bouncing into a particular topic here.
We are the champions. No, this is bad timing. Very bad. This is we have bad culture. Don't talk to no one, because we have bad culture at US Soccer.
So
yes.
It's funny because we'll play this in just a second, but we were talking about this before the show. And, prior to Greg getting fired, they talked about the culture. The culture is great. We have this great culture. This is 90% of what they talk about, and everybody talked about it.
Yeah.
But then now we're talking about getting a new coach, and the culture's got to change. We need a coach that does this. But the funny thing is that all the vocal players, a lot of them are the same players that said otherwise. So I'm just saying, and they're saying the exact same thing. So is this the players' council getting together and saying, "Hey, this is what we got to say next"?
No,
you don't think so? They all have the same idea.
I think they all pretty much knew at some point losing means bad culture. You're not supposed to build a good culture that's all we get around, we eat marshmallows together around the campfire. Well, it's so good. We all love each other. We're like brothers, whatever. No, that's not the kind of culture you're building. What you're building is a winning culture. Fuck the marshmallows and fuck everything else about how great you feel about each other. Maybe that's part of it, but as Eric Winalda pointed out to me today, that's not what it's about. You can actually despise your teammates. The culture you're building is a winning culture. Fuck all the rest of it. It's meaningless. I'm glad you all like to eat fries and dip them into fucking your milkshakes, and you sit around a table together, and that's just wonderful. And fireworks shoot out your ass as you all do that, and little things develop in your eyes that glitter and glow, and you all love each other and want to give each other French kisses. Okay, fine. That's just fine. But honestly, that's not what we're trying to build here. We're trying to build a winning culture, a culture focused on winning games, and that's what we got to do. These guys already knew each other, most of them, anyhow, for playing. We know Tyler, Weston, Pulisic. I mean, I could go on and on. All these guys played in youth teams together. They've known each other since they were young men, hairless nutsack boys. They love each other already. They're already a family. Greg didn't build shit. These guys already knew each other. So don't tell me about what Greg built. These guys love each other already. They're already close. They're already tight. So fuck that shit. Jizz if you want to for Greg, but fuck that. Not buying it. Don't believe it. Don't care.
Jizz.
And I'm just telling you how easy that facade is easy to break down, because as soon as this team started losing, all of the major players are saying, we need a new culture. Yeah. We need somebody to come. What somebody said, crack the whip. I thought that was almost racist.
It was Tyler that said that.
Yeah, I'm like, don't say that, Tyler. That's racist. You can't say that. But then I'm like, okay, yeah, what you mean is somebody's come in and kick you in the asshole and say either play or poop. Either one of the two.
Pretty much. I'm going to play this. I'll be right back, Derek, and start talking afterwards, okay?
Okay. Make sure the sound works. Make sure the sound works. The sound's not working. Sound not working. There we go.
Better.
There you go. Now go take a poop.
Better times ahead in the recent announcement of Mauricio Pochettino arriving. What excites you the most about what he can bring to this team?
Excites.
Yeah, I think just hopefully a culture that is willing to fight, that is willing to take risks.
Fight. Take risks.
You know,
let me write
win.
these down.
I mean, there's a lot of things that need to change, and just
a lot.
Just in the mentality and the culture of the group. I think we have the quality, but I know hopefully that that's the first thing that he's gonna want to change.
Better times ahead in the recent
oh
announcement
no,
of Mauricio
it's not
Pochettino
pausing.
arriving.
Brett.
What excites you the most about what he can bring to this team?
It's not pausing.
Yeah, I think just hopefully a culture that is willing to fight, that is willing to
take risks.
Take risks.
Mentality.
You know, win. I mean, there's a lot of things that need to change, and just just in the mentality and the culture of the group. I think we have the quality, but I know hopefully that that's the first thing that he's gonna want to change.
All right, I gotta figure out a way
Better
to stop
times ahead
this.
in the recent.
I can do it. I'm gonna remove it. There we go. All right, I removed it. I still have the ability to do that. I'm not gonna do that again. So he said we need a team that needs to fight. We need a team that takes risks. Okay, with Greg's system, no such thing as creativity and taking risks. None. There just wasn't. There was a system of passing it around the horn, keeping possession, and doing absolutely jack shit with the ball. That's what Greg did. Patterns of play, completely predictable. I did it live on air several times where I said, this pass is going to go there. Then this pass is going to go there. Then this pass is going to go there. And this next pass is going to go there. Predictable patterns of play. Got to end. By the way, Brett, you know that played in a cycle.
I came in here, I saw it still playing. I'm like, there's no chance. It only took me 15 seconds to go upstairs and go pee.
I canceled it, by the way. I pulled it off.
Cool.
You know, because I got the power. And
we're gonna watch it again, okay?
No, we're not, because I'm gonna outline it for. He said we need.
I watched it already. Yeah,
we need a team that can. I'm just giving you the bullet points, even though you already know. We need a team that can fight. Okay. Apparently, that's not happening under Berhalter's teams. We need a team that can take risks, and I just explained with Berhalter's predictable patterns of play why that could never happen. We need a team with a better mentality, a winning mentality. Wow. Holy shit. Yeah, Berhalter, we're just happy to be here at Copa. It's a step towards 2026. It's just a step. That's all this is. It's just a step. Yeah, we do need a winning mentality. Culture. And the culture needs to be improved. Holy shit. I thought we had this great culture that Berhalter personally baked with Betty Crocker in a fucking cake. No, he did not. And we already mentioned why that is not the case. That culture was already there. Those guys loving each other, that brotherhood, that's just in one step in the process that the guys like each other. And as Eric Winalda said, guys don't even need to like each other. They just need to function as a team and have one goal and one culture. That is to win. That's what's important here. Not fucking baking cookies together and eating s'mores at the fucking fire. That is not what any team needs. A lot of teams in the past that have won World Cups have had lots of conflict within the team. France, I can think of past Italy teams, even past German teams that had conflict. Doesn't matter. At goalkeeper, by the way. And are there other positions? Doesn't really matter. The conflict is also good sometimes. Sometimes you need to have the tough discussions, the critical conversations, and that builds character in teams too. This whole fluff and guff crap that we got from Berhalter, this whole wax it on, grab the lube, everybody stroke each other off at the fucking fire camp. No, that's not what we needed. And I'm so happy to say that Greg Berhalter is gone. That fraud of a fucking professional learning communities who, like, he invented it, which it was invented by W. Edwards Deming years ago in the late 1940s when he rebuilt the Japanese fucking corporate system and their manufacturing system. Don't even try to pretend you invented what somebody else invented years and years ago about building great team cultures.
But
fuck you. Fuck off.
It, Derek. He perfected it.
With his leadership council. All right, that might work in a manufacturing company to some extent, but it's not working on a sports team. Okay? That's not how sports works. This is not a fucking corporation or a company or a manufacturing company. That's not how it works. And this is not what you do. And I'm glad it's gone, and I hope that Poach never brings it back. I think the leadership council is gone, and I hope it's gone for good. Sorry for the rant. No. But you were gone. You were pooping, so my bad.
Yeah. It really just begs the question, quite frankly, to why they were okay with they were actually making requests to have Berhalter back. Then,
yes,
but not but doing a complete 180 now.
You want to know why? You know why?
I know why.
Really?
Go for it, Derek.
You know why?
I feel like 298 people in the chat probably don't know why.
No, there's 309 people here right
Derek,
now.
I gave 10 people the benefit of the doubt, and you just shat upon them or shat upon my joke. Yes, I know there's 310 right now.
Okay, I got 312. Why do I always have a different number than you have? I don't understand it.
Not 312 now. You're
right.
a second ahead of us.
I must be a second ahead. Okay.
From our streamings.
Must be. So, yeah, for once I'm ahead. So here's the thing. If you work at a company, and let's just say your name's Christian Pulisic, and you have a boss that's favored you, put you in critical leadership positions, let you take all the corner kicks and fucking set pieces, and he absolutely trusts in you, loves you, considers you vital, and you're Adams, and you feel the same way, you're another employee of that CEO, and then there's rumors coming that this guy might not be there anymore next week. You're like, oh, I really get along with that guy. That guy really loves me. Who's going to be the new guy? Fucking A. That's why you don't have a leadership council of twats, okay, in lower management deciding who the new CEO is, because that new CEO might come in and challenge you in a way you haven't been challenged before. Put new requirements on what he expectations that he might have for you. You much rather wake up in the morning and go to work every day thinking, oh, I know what my job is, and I know my boss loves me, and I know what his expectations are. But if you change the boss, then all things are off. All bets are off. What's this guy want? Is he going to change shit? Am I still going to be the man with the biggest testicles on this team, taking all the fucking free kicks and corner kicks? Mm-hmm. Am I still going to be guaranteed a starting spot if you're Adams every game? No, you don't know that. So, of course, you're going to stick with the guy you know. That's what happened here. It's as simple as that. That's why guys like Adams, Weah, Pulisic, I can't think of anybody else. Who else came out? We always act like it's... We already said Weah, Wes. No, Wes came out and said, it doesn't matter who the manager is. We're a great team. We're a brotherhood. We're going to be able to beat whoever. We're going to be a great team regardless. So we act like the whole team said it, but the whole team didn't say it. It was like 4 or 5 guys tops. The rest of the team actually mocked fucking Berhalter, like Scally. And then when Berhalter was fired, Scally liked his firing post.
So did Reyna.
They're like, click like on him being fired. So there were plenty of players within the system that never believed or were bought in to Berhalter's system. If I go behind the scenes, I could tell you who some of them were. I'm not going to do that because it's not my place to do it, but we do know who some of them are. And they were not fans of Berhalter at all, but they were the guys that would say things like, it's not my job to pick the manager. I'm here to play soccer and represent the country, and whoever they pick is who I'm going to play for. Those are the guys who probably were not Berhalter fans and were ready for something different, even if they weren't ready for Jesse Marsch. Maybe they didn't like Jesse Marsch or weren't excited about Jesse Marsch. I know for sure that Marsch may say he's not better, but for certain, the fact that Adams and some of the other U.S. players were the ones that not overruled, but vouched for Greg through the process that he had been verbally picked as the manager and then lost out to Greg based on some phone calls and some conversations with the leadership council. Yeah, I do think that Jesse probably is a little bitter about that. I don't think it's as bad as you think, because I do think he's happy where he's at.
Sure, 100%. Why wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
You have one of the. I mean, you have an entire country that molds right into your system,
right?
And you're happy with the results that you get.
And look what he's done already.
Yeah. No,
So-
I think that was a perfect placement for him to be, quite frankly. I mean, I think he could have done well with us still. I think he would have done a better job of motivating our players than Berhalter.
Oh, for sure.
But I guess my big question to you with this whole Pulisic and other player flip flops, as far as the mentality and what they're coming out and saying now compared to before Copa. I mean, do you think either one of two options happened? Either U.S. Soccer came out and said, "Hey, we're going to be bringing in a coach that's a high-end coach. We're going to bring this high-end coach who's going to be completely different, and he's going to shake things up." Or do you think that, the leadership council, if you will, realized that eating ice cream for every meal wasn't the best thing for your health?
Yeah, I look back at I don't want to get too personal, my divorce. And even I look at some of my students today, and I think they know they'd rather have a disciplined ball buster in the end. And my kid, certainly my youngest, felt that way, because I was always the bad guy, right? I was always the disciplinarian in my marriage. I think in the end, they're like, listen, we do need that. I mean, look at us, dude. Look at this. This is ridiculous.
Sure.
I mean, without any discipline or somebody, imploring discipline, we're a ragtag bunch of losers. And I think that people do look in the mirror. In fact, at one point, we had signed my son Nick up for a private school academy, where it was really willy-nilly, like, you decide your future kind of thing. And dude, that did not work for him. He needed discipline. He needed to be told, listen, here's your choices. Make a choice. Not like, just make it up, dude. He's like, I'm fucking 9. What do I know about what I'm fucking going to want going forward? I'm 9 years old. And he would come back to us from this academy and say, they're telling me I can do whatever I want. This is crazy. I don't know what I want. And we're like, yeah, this isn't right for you. And so we found him another school. So, I think in the end, like classes in school, the kids in the end respect the discipline and the learning in the end. They don't respect, and I'm not saying Greg was like totally willy-nilly and let the players do whatever they want, but he did have a players leadership council that did have undue influence on the team and also had undue influence in the decision-making to bring Greg back. Like, that's all done. I think that's got to be done. I'm sure it is done. I don't see that coming back. I do not see a leadership council going forward in the future. I think that you got to deal with these players.
Do you think coach would actually allow one to go through?
No, I don't think so. I don't. I look back. I look back for any leadership councils on Tottenham, Chelsea, PSG. No, none.
It's like Remember the Titans. You ever see the movie Remember the Titans?
Mm-hmm.
That scene where I'm gonna space her fucking names. Guys come up to Denzel Washington. It's like, hey, keep you can put all your people on special teams. We got defense covered, half for offense, half for defense, etc. or whatever. And Denzel's like, you must be Dean and you're etc. But the idea is like, Poach was like, that's cute. That's cute, Pulisic. You want to have a say in this? type of thing.
I think what Pulisic has said several times, paraphrasing is, it's time for the players to buck up and get kicked in the ass. Adam said it too. We need to be a swift kick in the ass. And I think Reem said it too. I'm trying to think of who else said it. But yes, a swift kick in the ass is what is necessary here. And a bit of getting back to reality and a different, God help us, a different pattern of play. And it will be a different pattern of play if we're not crowding the wings anymore, with not only the left back and the left wing crowding and basically taking up the same space, which has been Berhalter's overload a wing, overload the wing, overload this wing, overload this wing. In fact, bring Aronson over from the right wing to overload the left wing on top of Pulisic and the left back. Like, no more of that. And then who's in the box to get the ball? One striker? What the are we doing? Because we got two holding midfielders. Who is going to enter the box to get on that cross that Weah's going to send in, or whomever sends it in? Like, those days should be over, I'm hoping. And we'll just see I hope, a more pragmatic way of looking at this, which is about shoring up the back, making sure we're not leaky in the back or playing out of the back.
So thank you. I was going to say
in a way we can't. Yeah.
The one big thing is that we did a complete 180 overnight. We went from a very counterattacking style play for decades. Right. So all of a sudden, like, yeah, we're gonna be a possession team and play it out of the back and do all this X, Y, and Z's. And we're like, well, you could do that. You can implement that strategy from the youth level up, but doing it immediately, like flipping a switch and saying, okay, I know we've been playing direct. We're playing kind of very direct counterattacking style ball for like decades. I don't want you to do that anymore. No more kicking out of the back. No more playing direct. We're going to play it out of the back.
No more long balls.
54 passes before we get into the offensive third. Come on, let's do it.
Didn't it kill you when Mikey Forrest was in the interview? And I wish I would have time marked this. And the question was, in the post game, after the first loss to Canada, they were like, and it was our old friend, Mike Watala, who was on our show back in, I don't know, 14, 16, 15, whatever, 12, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And from Houston Chronicle. And he said, and Mike hasn't, by the way, got to ask a question in a long time. They don't call on him much anymore because of questions like this. He said, Mikey, it seems to me that what you did is you went out there and played a lot of classical Berhalter ball. And Jesse has remarked that he was prepared for it. Do you think that's the case? And if so, or if not, what did you do differently? Oh, he hated that fucking question. He fucking hated that question. And he said, no, we did something different. As you probably realize, Greg's been kicking it. Greg had played the ball out of goal kicks longer and past the midfield. And we decided in this game not to do that and play it out of the back all the time. What the fuck, you fucking idiot? That's what cost us the game, you fucking moron. The fact that we played it out of the back on goal kicks all the time. We never played it long. They were never even worried about us playing it long.
I don't recall us playing it long with Berhalter. Maybe an occasional one every now and then.
Later on we did with
every
Berhalter.
Now and then, maybe. Still, even then. I don't think it was a regular thing.
There were whole games with Turner where we just gave it up. We gave up the ghost, and we kicked them long.
Don't recall.
Past the half field every time because Greg knew better. Like, even Greg wasn't dumb enough to think, Patrick Schulte, there's a fucking guy that's really good with his feet. We're going to play it out of the back every single goal kick. What a fucking moron. And Mikey Forrest was proud that was the difference between him and Berhalter. What a fucking idiot. Good luck, San Diego. Have a good time with that and all your hairy-ass players. That's all I got to say. All your hairy fucking players. By the way, for the 330 of you who are here tonight, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandmother. And make sure you tell your stepsister that not only do you love her, but we love her too. All right. Forrest smokes Galaxy gas bread.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Galaxy gas is a new thing they're doing.
Galaxy gas?
Yeah.
That's like a new drug?
Yeah.
It's like a Huey Lewis thing. I need a new drug. One that don't stink. One that don't come up my ass. Or something I have to put down my butt.
I saw a video recently of somebody doing Galaxy gas, and they like passed out like while doing it. Like they just
I don't even know what that is. It's
bounce
like,
back up eventually, but
it's like huffing some stupid shit like they used to do back in the 90s.
like God Con goes, isn't every gas a Galaxy gas? It's fair. It's fair.
It's like a canned fart. What is this? Galaxy gas.
Broken says it's LA weed sour diesel.
Thomas Powell sums it up. It's basically Whippets. It's nothing new. Calling it Galaxy gas is giving Whippets that's giving it way too much credit. Whippets are just brain fucking dissolving bullshit. That's what that is. Don't do Whippets. That's stupid. Whippets are dumb. That's for dumb fucking high school kids. If you're still doing Whippets and you're not a fucking high school kid, you're a fucking moron. That's all I'm going to say.
You know, our district had to get rid of condensed air. You know, you usually use condensed air to clean off, like, you know, inside of computers and stuff like that, or filters. You clean off filters. But you get rid of that because they're inhaling that shit. Students would go and grab that out of desk drawers and...
Listen, Whippets were stupid when I was a kid. They're still stupid. But I don't want to demean our Whippet fans. If you're a fan of this show and you're whipping it, okay, keep watching this show. No offense meant. All right. What else we got? Because we're coming near the end here.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Brett Oppenheim. We would love to have you on. Let's plan one out and do it.
But
now we're at the end.
Brett anywhere in the chat though?
No, we're at the end of the show. We're not bringing Brett on now. Not gonna happen. Let's plan something out.
We have the whole Pochettino topic here, man. Barely touched base on that.
That's not gonna last that long.
You'd be surprised.
No, we already covered most of it. What he's gonna do differently, how he sets up, how he plays. We already talked about all of it.
You got a massive assumption here. So we have a proven winner, Derek, on our hands.
Yeah, but they forgot, and I'm glad they did, frankly, because when JT Batson announced it, and when Crocker announced it, and when Cindy Cohn was quoted, they all said the same thing. Mauricio Pochettino is a serial winner. Like, he's all up in that shit. He loves Rice Krispies. Like, come on with that. Like, enough with the serial winner bullshit. Like, how many times are we going to repeat that? Is this a political campaign? Do we all have the same and to use the same fucking sentence that he's a serial winner? So at least this post said a proven winner. Yeah. Thank God. Thank God.
I mean, proven and serial. I'm not 100% positive he's technically either. He's won some, but
he's won more than he's lost. He's won more than he's lost. He's made it to a Champions League final. All right. Is he?
We should Harold Tuchel in here then next.
Is he the shiny balls of Satan? No, he's not. It's not going to get us a 666 win in 2026. Like, I'm sure he hasn't sold his balls to the devil. And I don't think that's going to get us a win in 2026. But Julian Vivas Las Vegas for $4.99. What do you guys think of Poach not smiling today in the picks? He's not a big smiler, if you haven't noticed. Well, I like it because it shows he won't mess around.
I mean, even in my my U10s team photo we took Tuesday, I didn't smile. You don't smile during soccer photos. It's just not a thing.
You know what I didn't do? Not only do I rarely smile in class, because that keeps the kids like, what the fuck's going on with that guy? But also, when I took my photo for the school for my position, I did not smile either. I think smiling's overrated. Like, I'll grin and I will laugh, but I'm not smiling. I'm not some smiley guy.
Well, Godcom says smiling is illegal in Germany, so maybe that's why you don't do it, Derek.
And I'm 50% German, so I get it. That's probably the problem. So there you go. All right.
Let's see. We have one more super chat, and we'll move on with the topic.
What topic? All right. Levered Out says for $1.99. Has any of our top players gotten better since Cup?
I'm guessing World Cup.
No.
Well, Pulisic went to AC Milan.
I mean, for the U.S. men's national team, has he got?
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
The U.S. national, no.
For his club, yeah, he's better.
I think we've seen a little bit of degradation there.
Yeah, I mean, McKennie's played
quality.
McKennie played great for Juventus last season. Has it showed up for the U.S. soccer team? No.
I think he played fine with the U.S. when he was in shape and in form.
Yeah, but
then he started packing the pizza with ranch, and all of a sudden where we're at now.
Nah, I don't know if it's the pizza with ranch as much as like, hey, these guys are trying to get rid of me again. I'm just going to be sitting at home drinking champagne and
eating pizza with ranch. Yeah, I hear it.
Eating pizza with ranch, but also probably things like battered shrimp.
Is that a big thing in Italy?
Calamari, battered calamari. Yeah. I don't know about shrimp, but certainly calamari. Yep. So, yeah. All right. You say we got so much to cover. I think we covered a lot of it.
So on the talk, we're trying to cancel the show, Derek.
I'm not.
We're moving along. And if we cover something we've already covered, we'll say, yeah, we already covered that.
I will.
So Doug McIntyre goes on talking about how Pochettino is bringing in some of his lifelong assistants.
Yep.
But the big one that stands out to me is the keeper coach, which happens to be different than the keeper coach that we just signed January of 2024.
He's fucked.
How often do teams have multiple keeper coaches?
He might stay on as an assistant keeper coach.
Yeah.
But Miguel D'Agostino will definitely be the man. And if the other guy still has a job,
well,
good for him, but I doubt it.
Keeper coach is Tony Jimenez.
Currently?
No, that's what it says. And keeper coach Tony Jimenez.
Miguel D'Agostino and keeper coach Tony Jimenez also expected on Pochettino's staff.
Yeah, so okay. Miguel is not the keeper coach. Tony is.
Okay, so, all right. Clearing that up. Whoever the current coach is out of a job.
Yeah.
Or he'll stay on as an assistant. Who knows?
Didn't we just talk about it the show or two prior? They signed a guy from not Liverpool, because we mentioned Liverpool and it wasn't Liverpool.
Think so.
It was something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You just signed a guy in 2024 and shit canning him immediately?
We don't know. He might stay on as assistant. We don't know how this is. There will be an assistant keeper coach. So we don't know if he's going to stay or if he's going to go. If he's that great, he'll find another job. No big deal.
Yeah.
No big deal.
So apparently Pochettino is also a big fan of Yunus Musa.
I don't know about big. He's a fan.
Says Pochettino's always been appreciative of Yunus Musa. He was one of the players under consideration while he was at Chelsea, apparently.
Wasn't a big enough consideration to sign him for the ridiculous sum that Chelsea would have obviously been open to paying while he was there. Because they overpay for everybody. And he ended up at AC Milan, which I think is much better for him than playing at some shithole in Chelsea, which is what it is. It's a shithole covered with poop.
Well, I mean, he would have got the benefit of the doubt because he is part English. So
well,
he's not full. He's not 100% American. He is American. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he's English American.
Doesn't change the fact that Chelsea's an unwiped shithole.
That's fair. That's fair,
yep.
Derek.
Yep.
We did this article talking about the story of Pochettino. And I do have several tidbits here.
Oh, let's do your tidbits. And I don't mean your testicles.
Exactly.
All right.
That's my giggle bits, by the way.
Your
Not
giggle bits.
Yeah.
Derek,
Derek, if we read through this and we say, hey, we've already touched this, I'll cancel it out. We'll move on to the next one because we do have several.
Because you giggle when they're touched. All right. Pochettino is a perfect fit with our ethos and our team. I'm kind of sick with the ethos thing, but okay. Yeah. Batson told ESPN, I'm delighted that he will be inspiring not just our players, but also fucking our ass and the staff to reach our greatness, but also that it will help inspire the next generation of Americans to fall in love with soccer and jerk off while the games are being played. All right. Well, that's an interesting quote from Batson. I mean, the whole jerking off thing, I didn't even know about.
That's a little out of left field by Batson.
But I like the aggressiveness of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, at least people are enjoying themselves while watching U.S. soccer.
Yeah, but this quote's a little much. I'm glad, but I don't know if you can. I mean, I hope they inspire the next generation of Americans.
I know.
Fall in love with soccer, but
I agree with Kevin on this. What is our ethos, anyways?
Our ethos currently is Greg Berhalter. Currently. That's what it is because
it should be he is a perfect fit to counter our ethos and help our team succeed.
Right. But right now, the ethos, as clearly the players have laid out, is Greg Berhalter's developed ethos, which is basically, you know, it's marshmallows on top of a cracker with some chocolate. That's what it is.
I'd like some more of that.
Yeah, it's delicious when you eat it, but it's not going to help fortify a healthy diet. All right. So Pochettino is perfect. All right. Fuck it. Next slide.
Yeah.
From the first meeting, they discussed the possibility of hiring a foreign coach. They didn't close the door on an American manager. Oh, come on.
Doesn't this just so I had this conversation with some actually I had this conversation with Colin. Because he talked about how like we discredited any American coach candidate. I'm like, well, first off, no, we talked about a number of American coaches in Europe. You know, Herzl, we talked about Matarazzo, we talked about Perez, we talked about Wagner.
Yep,
just to name a few. And you know what? If we're talking about coaches in America, we talked about Nancy as a viable option if we went that route. I
mean, I think Colin has been pretty irrational about his responses to us. So I don't know what to say about that. We have been, I think, pretty fair about who we thought would be. Like, if we really had to settle for an MLS coach, Nancy would have been my pick too. But we didn't have to go there, so let's not even bother with it.
Yeah.
And then it's the first coach since Jurgen Klinsmann was hired, 2011, foreign coach, and only the second time since 91. Bora. Who cares?
Yeah.
I really don't think it matters that
go
much.
In a different direction, Derek.
Really doesn't matter that much. I mean, we're overblowing he's foreign. He's a fucking foreigner. This foreigner. He's probably eating fucking cats, man. He's eating cats. He's going to come over here to eat some cats.
You missed the chat about 7 to 10 minutes ago. We already talked about dogs again. So,
yep. That Pochettino better not come over here and eat some dogs. That's all I'm saying. So now, I don't think anybody feels that way.
So I only brought this up because we already know about we knew about Batson, we knew about Crocker, we knew about Parlow as far as partaking in the discussions because they're the heads. But it was nice. I mean, we did also talk about Gooch when it came to our inside sources. When people are like, "Oh, unless you're talking to Gooch," I'm like, "Well, we're not talking to Gooch." But it was nice that they came out and they said, "Hey, look at this."
Here's the hilarious thing: if you have Peacock and you watched it before the New Zealand game and the announcement before the New Zealand game, not at halftime, as I predicted, but before the game. So I wasn't far off. I wasn't that far off, folks.
You called the game. That's all that matters.
Yeah. So Batson gets on with Peacock. Guess who Batson gives credit for the signing? Himself, Cindy Parlow-Cohn, and the two billionaires. Gooch, Crocker, get no mention whatsoever. None. Not a word, not a mention.
Strange
nothing.
that Crocker has the connection, though.
It's Crocker's connection. Yes. It's BJ's money that got it, or excuse me, Batson's money that got it done. Crocker made the connection. Batson got the money. So those two primarily responsible for making this happen, even though Batson gave no credit to Crocker at all, which is.
I wanted to bring this up real quick. Fumar says, curiously, no foreign has won a World Cup. But then in fairness, though, no American coach has won a World Cup either. So
we're not looking to win 2026. I hope we do. I'd like to see us, and we have seen multiple foreign coaches.
Godcon just did the same thing.
Hold on.
You're fine.
There have been multiple foreign coaches that have taken teams they are not from into the semis and deep into this cup. No, did they not win it? They did not win it. But really, do you think we're going to win 2026, or are you hoping for a deep run? If you're expecting a win, yes, of course, Pochettino taking the United States to a win in the World Cup in 2026 will not only be a fucking miracle, it will also be a precedent center that, yes, a foreign coach can take a team to win a World Cup. But that's not what we're looking for. It's not what we're looking for.
There's always going to be a first. At some point, there will be a forwarder that happens to win a World Cup with a team that he's not from. It's going to happen eventually.
It will, but that's not my point. My point
I know. I'm not arguing that point.
There are plenty of foreign coaches that have taken teams they are not born from deep into competition. That's what we want to do. Take us deep. Give us a chance. That's all I want. If we fart out in the semis or the quarters or whatever, fine. But let's get through the first couple rounds in the World Cup, a 48 fucking team World Cup. All right. And a massive bracket when we get into that. It's going to be ridiculous. Like you're going to win. I mean, it's a 32 team bracket. So even if you win your first game in the 13, you're still in the 16s, where usually in a World Cup, you get out of the group stage, you're in the 16s already.
You know what's interesting is my son and his friends I pick up to go to his practice. His friends actually aren't playing with our team, but there are extra kids that want to come out and play. So we're like, fuck it, come out and play. But on the way home and everything, they always do like this trivia game. Basically, they're guessing a player based off a couple stats and everything like that. So like, this guy is Brazilian. He's a striker and he plays for insert team here, and they've got to guess who it is, type thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But then one of them was like, I don't know. Do you think Brazil's going to make this World Cup? And I'm like, well, yes. But even more so, since this World Cup's going up to like 48 teams, guaranteed they're going to go. they can shit the bed, they could still go.
Well, they are frauds right now. They just lost again.
Oh, no.
Brazil, yep. So they're in trouble in the qualifying. Well, they're not really.
Well, not really. I mean, they got the top. Well, prior to this, the top 5 teams, well, four teams would move on, right?
They're
playing a playoff. Is that how it went? Something like that.
I will say this: Brazil, right now, not the Brazil of 10 years ago. Certainly nowhere near 20 years ago. This is a fraud Brazil team right now. Fraud.
I saw a stat that showed Neymar had the most assists of anybody in the last 10 years.
Without Donovan.
Or something like that.
Internationally, they left out Donovan. He would have been second.
That's a good point, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
They left Donovan out of that list. Why? Why?
No, because they mentioned Beckham, so there wasn't a time issue. Never mind. Scratch it.
No, they fucked Donovan over. He would have been second on that list for assists in international play. Yep. I'm not going to read all this. I'm just going to say they just want him to do or get as far as Bruce did in 2022.
That's the only reason why I brought this up is that their primary objective is just to get to the quarters at this point. So,
and
that's fair. That's a fair progression forward, quite frankly.
I think that would be that would mean you get 2 knockout games.
Yeah.
Right. And if we get past that corner and make it into the semis, now you're fully erect. You have a sports arousal, a full sports arousal. So and now you're really excited.
Yeah, I brought this quote up because they talk about the battery of practical and psychological testing, which we've talked about ad nauseum a number of times. But people still question it, though. They question. I know that Jesse made the snide comment like, "Oh, I did like 24 hours of testing." It wasn't 24 hours, like 8 hours, what he said, or something like that. But people are like, "Oh, it wasn't really that bad." But even this ESPN article talks about how the battery of practical and psychological testing wasn't utilized, well, because they're known qualities.
Okay.
Do you really think that Jesse and Berhalter were not known qualities to the Federation?
They were already fucking known qualities. Nobody should have had to take a battery of practical and psychological testing. That was always bullshit. That was sportsology. That's why they were fired. That's why they no longer have an office in the fucking U.S. Soccer headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
They're fired. Okay? Fuck that. Asking Pochettino to take a battery of practical and psychological tests is an insult. Here's my fucking resume. Hire me or not, or suck my fucking dick. Fuck off. Go fuck a fucking tugboat. That's all I would say.
They're like, now, Pochettino, I see that you've coached at a wide variety of quality teams, and you have a history of being a good player for Argentina. But what would you do if you found out that a fellow employee was stealing money from the company?
It's a bunch of dumbass NFL dumb fucks that these motherfuckers hired to come in and advise them on hiring. You can only imagine the dumb fucking questions. Here's how they would approach Mauricio. So, Mauricio, Puka.
Not gonna coach you with that name. Jesus.
How do you pronounce your name? Oh, okay, thank you, Pochettino. Mauricio, I see you play for a team called PSG. I don't know that team. What can you tell me?
Is there any more letters?
What is
more
that?
Letters you can add to that?
What does that stand for? This is a weird. PSG, is that like a drug, or like what team did you coach there in France? Because I don't really know that team.
I know of LSD, but what about PSG? What is that?
Is that like a trans fat or something? No, it's Paris Saint-Germain. I coached at Paris Saint-Germain. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
I don't care about any recreational soccer teams you coached.
And then I see you play for this team called like Espanyol. Yeah, I coached for that team too. Yes, I did. Okay. I don't know them either. Okay, so what we're going to do now?
A little Espanol.
No, this HR manager can't. From Sportsology. Sportsology is an NFL group mostly. That's what they deal with, NFL. And so she wouldn't know shit about any of those teams. And she'd be like, Southampton. You know, there's this place out in the Northeast. Did you coach in America at that Southampton, that beach? No. Southampton is the team.
I vacation at the Hamptons all the time.
Yeah, this team is in Southampton is in England. Okay. Oh, let's put you through this battery test then. Let's get that done. Now, can you imagine that shit? Can you imagine that?
Why would you go to England?
So I'm glad this whole battery of test things is done. It should be a resume. If you're so stupid, you can't figure out whether or not this guy has a resume good enough to coach your team without a battery of tests, then you're a fucking moron. I mean, fuck you. Goddamn, you should not be fucking running U.S. Soccer if you are this fucking stupid. Stupid with a capital fucking S, Brett.
Again, even if you're going with an MLS coach, you could sit there and say, well, I've watched a lot of Columbus games. I've watched a lot of LA games. I've watched a lot of Seattle games. I can make a decision based off of how those teams are performing and the styles that we want to see at U.S. Soccer. You don't need to sit them down and again ask them if their employee was stealing money, would you report them to your boss? I mean, you don't need to ask those questions. If you were an animal, what type of animal would you be, Derek?
Well, can you imagine Mourinho takes this test, right? And they come back with him, and after he took the test, and they sit down with him. We're like, listen, we're gonna have to count you out of the team because from the test, it seems that you get very upset when your players or your employees perform poorly, and I think you show too much emotional anger, so we're gonna have to let you go. Because we're going to move on to Greg Berhalter, who doesn't get upset at his players at all.
Apparently, the players wanted him back.
When they play bad, he says, "No, it's all good. It's all good." I think he's more positive based on our sportsology fucking stupid tests. Yeah, fuck that shit. Fuck all that corporate crap. Fuck it. Shove it. Flush it down the fucking toilet. Don't ever use that corporate fucking garbage again. It's all garbage. You hire people based on what they do, what they've accomplished, and you meet them one-on-one and you talk to them like fucking human beings and you find out who they are as people. You don't give them fucking psychology tests and all this other fucking rat shit that everybody out there is now doing, by the way, when they hire people. Oh, we need to take this fucking 30-minute test. Fuck you. I don't want to work at your stupid fucking company. Fuck you. And that's what I did, by the way, when I was looking for a new job. I said, oh, you want me to take a 30-minute test? Fuck you. I ain't taking it. Stick it up my fucking finger up your dick, up your fucking asshole. I am not fucking doing it. You good luck hiring somebody if you're going to base it on some stupid psychological tests. They're probably right because obviously my response is like outrageous, right? I'm angry that they're asking me to take the psychological test in the first place. Because that's not what is important. What is important is what can they accomplish? What have they accomplished before? What is their track record? That's what's important. Have they raped anybody? Have they committed crimes? Yes, that should certainly be taken into account. But in the end, you're looking for a track record of success. That's what you're really looking for more than anything else. And that's not what sportsology is all about, by the way. They're really looking for a thorn in your psychological test that will make Greg Berhalter a better pick. All right.
So this is talking about his final year of his contract with Chelsea. It's at an estimate of $14 million, which had to be resolved before he became the U.S. men's national team coach. Because, and you kept mentioning a gardening contract, which might be different from a guillotine contract.
It's called gardening leave. So
this one would be this would stipulate that he would give up his pay if he took another job. Correct. Not necessarily that you have. I mean, so this would tell me that Poach was sitting there going, I don't want to give up $14 million.
No.
Can we work something out here before I say yes to you guys?
Okay.
And then the U.S. is like, all right, we'll talk to Chelsea. And then they went to negotiation at that point.
Hold on. That's not necessarily true in Europe. That's not how gardening leave works. Basically, Chelsea have him signed for another full year. They can say no to any offer. No. We're paying him for the next year, so no, you can't have him. Unless you want to pay part of his salary we've already guaranteed to him. He's already been guaranteed that salary. And now, Poach could say, oh, I'll not take it. I'll take zero of your salary and move on. But there could be a phraseology in the contract that says, no. This happens a lot in F1. And guys have to go on what's called gardening leave. We don't know all the details, but I do suspect he had a gardening leave phrase. If we fire you after the first year or whatever, and we got another year to pay for you, we're not letting you go.
ESPN is making it sound a little bit different than that, though, in the sense that that Poach could have signed with the U.S. at any point, but he would be giving up his contract, that one last year of his contract with Chelsea. So again, that's what I'm saying. It makes it sound like Poach is like, well, I don't want to give up my $14 million.
What I'm being told from another source is that's too simple, is that Chelsea says, no. Chelsea bargained and said, No, he signed with us.
Well, no, that's stupid though, because Chelsea could have literally gotten away with it, not having to pay Poch anything if Poch really wanted to sign with the U.S. men's national team.
No, I mean yes, but no. Here's the thing: what they had on Poch was, we already have you under contract, and we don't want you to go on any other team. We're holding you hostage. And there is no release clause. I know what this says, but that's what made it complicated, is there wasn't a release clause like if Poch says, all right, I don't want to take any of your money, I just want out. They had him hired for another season. So somebody had to come in and pay off that. Now, I might be wrong, and they might be right.
I'm just saying that it doesn't make any sense at all because, one, Chelsea's spending a stupid amount of money on everything else. So if Poch is willing to just disregard his final year of his contract, why would Chelsea give two shits? It's not like he's going to a competitor. He's going to an international team.
But
why would Chelsea give two shits? Fuck.
Maybe he didn't want to, or maybe the contract is different than it's being stated here. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying that if Chelsea had the opportunity to not pay anything, why would they drag their feet on this?
So gardening leave contracts in Europe are very common. It's not even something most American writers are very aware of. That's why I'm saying this could have been a gardening leave contract where they're like holding him hostage, saying, you got to pay a certain percentage of his contract because we're bound to pay it. We have to pay him this amount.
Okay, well, that makes sense if it was bound to pay that. I'm just saying that if you,
because it was a guaranteed contract, Brett, is what I'm saying. They had to pay him regardless.
I'm just saying that if Poch were willing to disregard it, because they even talk about how it stipulated that he could give up his year's pay. Let's just say if that were the case, then I don't understand it. But if they were obligated and there was no stipulation saying that, and that Chelsea was going to have to pay Poch regardless, one way or another, then that's not holding him hostage. Why would they pay him and then allow him to go off and get paid from somewhere else? That's not holding him hostage.
If the pay is guaranteed regardless, then that becomes gardening leave.
Yeah, I'm just saying. All I'm saying is, I'm like, if they're going to pay for his services, there'd be no reason why I'd be like, yeah, I'll pay you the $14 million, and then you can go get a new job too.
So let's explain it here a different way.
Yeah,
he was guaranteed to be paid for 2 years. And there's no way out of that, whether he's there coaching or not. It happens a lot in F1. I don't know if this is the case here, but it sounds like it might have been. And that's why the American billionaires were called in to make a deal with Chelsea and pay off as big of the amount of his contract as they could possibly do on top of his salary. So that's what I'm hearing. I don't know what this report is saying. But I'm just saying.
I'm going solely off what he's been saying, and trust me, they get enough wrong regardless.
They get so much wrong.
I'm not saying they're right. I'm just arguing this point. That's all I'm doing.
Right. All right. I'm going to grab a quick Canada Dry. I'll be back in 15 seconds.
Yep. Last topic we have, a last little snippet we have on here is basically saying that the sources at ESPN are pegging. It's not just me, guys. It's ESPN and U.S. Soccer. Pegging the salary to be about $6 million. They have U.S. Soccer's had donors, hedge fund billionaires, Kenneth Griffin, as we talked about earlier, who's a founder of Citadel, co-founder of asset management firm Diameter Capital, Scott Goodwin.
So, Brett, the only other thing I would say to you, if it were as simple as they were saying in that article, then the deal should have been done weeks ago.
But then nope. But that again, that was telling me if ESPN's accurate, that would lead me to think that Poch didn't want to just disregard $14 million, and that Poch is like, we need to figure this out, guys.
Buy my contract out. Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not assuming ESPN is accurate. That would lead me to think. That would lead me to believe, because I would think Chelsea would be like, "Fine, we don't have to pay you. Cool." That would lead me to think that Poch was like, "No, I want my $14 million."
All I'm saying is I don't think he had a zero dropout option.
That's fair.
That's all I'm
I
saying.
have nothing to argue against that. I'm just, like I said, going solely off of what faulty ESPN has been.
Which forced them to come in and buy out a part of his contract and then also pay him a salary, which is why billionaires were required to work it out. That's all I'm saying. And I am making a guess based on how long it took and the complications involved. Because otherwise, if he's just like, well, fuck Chelsea, I quit. Chelsea can have their money. I don't want it. Just give me $6 million. Sure. I think you're right. I think Poach said, well, wait, they still owe me $14 million, and you got to pay them. You got to pay them out my contract.
You guys have to figure this out. Otherwise, they'll sit pretty on my $14 million is what I'm hearing. That's from what they're saying. That's what I'm hearing.
Right. And it could be, we don't know the contract, that Chelsea had a lockdown on that too. Like either you come and pay, we don't know, and we probably won't ever know because those details don't come out. Like someone would have to come out and pay a percentage of that 14 mil in order to unlock him and sign him.
True.
If teams do that, by the way,
Chelsea's have to pay 14 million to him. If U.S. Soccer comes with the holding hands of two billionaires and they pay 8 million to Chelsea, and Chelsea only has to pay the remainder to Poach, I would wager they'd be willing to do that rather than paying the full 14 mil.
Regardless, they got it done by signing up two big ass billionaires who really for them was pocket change, and got it done. So, and you're going to see billionaire Ken Griffin and
it's like 14 million. That's a half a yacht. Come on, man.
Yeah. For him, not a big deal. And the other billionaire put together probably split it. No big deal.
Yeah.
Apparently, 11. Our good friend Pete says, apparently there's a possibility Poach could continue past 2026. I imagine whether or not he wants to continue depend on how much freedom he has to work he's going to get. All right, listen. Nobody's getting in Poach's way. I'm just going to tell you that. No one.
Yeah. I can imagine Gooch going, Poach, we're going to have to reel you in. You can't do this. He's like, shut the fuck up.
He can do whatever he wants.
And
now, on the other hand, part two, how far he feels to get with a player pool, that might be an issue. I mean, the player pool on paper looks really good, but if he coaches it for a year and a half leading up to the World Cup and it's like, these guys suck, I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm not going to worry about that one. How much power USSF gives him to institute long-term change? I don't think they're looking for him to do that.
No.
I don't think they're asking him to be a technical director for U.S. Soccer.
Well, and here's the big question. Do you think he really wants to that
no.
I mean, I'm looking at this going, well, geez, I mean, let's say he extends past 2026. So he gets the $6 million for the 2 years. That's $3 million a pop. Whether they renegotiate or not, I don't know. But let's just say it stands for him. For the next 4 years, he makes $12 million with US. It's a relatively cush job. You have the media are little kittens compared to what you're used to. You are legitimately just, watching a handful of games a week, maybe traveling around Europe to watch.
You're living in Europe.
And well, actually, from what I've heard elsewhere, that he's agreed to move to Atlanta, quote unquote.
Oh, bullshit. He'll live there like 3 months a year. Give me a break.
Quote unquote. Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's one of those things where you got to take into consideration the actual job itself. Player pool, yeah, it's questionable sometimes. Maybe he wants to bring in some young players like Luna and etc. All the players from the U17s, 20s up.
Doubt it.
Including. I'm just saying. Well,
doubt it.
It is play. I mean, maybe. Who knows?
I doubt it.
Because it's not like we have a lot of offensive, creative options in Europe right now. We have a couple.
You got Reyna. You got Tillman.
Yes.
After that, it's.
So I'm saying you're looking at Reyna, who seems to not be able to remain healthy for any given. I mean, he was for a spell for us, of course, and I think this is just a little knock, and he'll be fine.
Again, we will be keeping tabs on Reyna this season, hardcore, and if he doesn't produce, he'll, we will ride his ball sack as hard as we rode Sargent when he wasn't performing with Norwich. We will do the same thing. We will ride his ball sack as hard as we rode Aronson's ball sack for the beginning of the Union Berlin season last season when he fucking failed to perform. We will ride any player's ball sack on this show, and we will hammer them and say they're not performing when they're not performing. We do not have favorites on this show. We have hammered Sargent. We have hammered Aronson. We hammer fuckers that don't perform. Period. End of story. We do not have favorites. People can say we have favorites. We do not. We do not. We do not care on this show. We care about performances. Period.
We do. I personally think we do have favorites, but we do hit them hard just as anybody else. We're not homerisms. We're not homers.
No. I mean, okay, if you say we have favorites, that's I think disingenuous. I'm
Team Sargent, but I will absolutely call him out when he's playing like shit.
And we did.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess we never stopped loving him, is what you're saying.
Yeah. It's tough love at the end there. Or that
Keep on loving you.
So
because it's the hardest thing we ever do.
Moving on from the song, moving on. We're gonna
All right.
BMR says, Brett, are you saying Reyna's injury prone? Well, it's been like 2 years since he's had a hamstring issue. So, no.
Not yet. But we'll see how serious this one is. And if it is serious, we'll have to reconsider. Yep. Absolutely.
But yeah. So, how Poach is going to handle things. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to U.S. Men's National Team Soccer, who's going to be doing a Q&A with Pochettino tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Oh, that'll be awesome. You guys got to definitely dip your balls into that.
Drop your questions in the reply, guys.
It's kind of like that old Ponderosa commercial. We got a chocolate fountain. You can dip anything into that. People are like, can I dip my balls in it? On Twitter, they're like, no, you can't dip your fucking testicles in it. No, you cannot. Sorry.
There we go. We finally got an Ask Pochettino question. How important will be club form for the national team call-ups? That's fine. That's a good question because we have that question with Reyna.
I mean, it really depends. If you're Pochettino and Reyna is playing 20 minutes a game, you're still calling him up.
I love Martin's question. What series is he most looking forward to playing in?
Fuck that, and fuck all the cities who want to get fucking a reach around every time they host a fucking game for U.S. Soccer. Oh yeah, St. Louis.
Oh, it's Cincy. Yeah, it's a town.
It's like the best facilities ever here. We're like fucking. I mean, it's amazing. Like every time we show up at the facilities, first of all, we instantaneously orgasm as we enter the fucking practice field because it's so fucking great. Fuck this shit. Quit goddamn giving a reach around to every goddamn host city for a goddamn U.S. soccer game and focus on the real thing, which is, hey, how do the fans feel? How do the players feel? How are we actually doing on the field? Quit stroking off every host fucking city for a goddamn U.S. soccer game. All right, we've heard it before.
Mm-hmm.
Quit doing the same stroke off. When you get the same stroke off each time, you're like, I really like a different kind of stroke occasionally. Like, I don't want the same one. Like, quit going so fast. Maybe this time you go slow. All right. Enough. All right.
Shank asked if we're going to invite Messi's kid to train in accepting citizenship and explore more dual nets.
All right. Premature. What would they call that? Recruiteration.
Isn't Ronaldo's kid, doesn't he technically have U.S. citizenship?
It's all premature recruiteration. All right. Premature.
Will you focus on dual net recruiting? Another dual net. What is your goal in the coming period? National team, do you expect to make a difference? Well, I think U.S. Soccer already announced their goal. That's the quarters.
Yeah, and I don't know about using coming in and period within the same sentence.
Ugh.
Although it has happened.
Like Woki goes Friday the 13th.
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
Mike P. Diego Luna is not a question. You need to ask that in the form of a question. Will you be calling up Diego Luna? And he's going to be like, maybe.
Listen, Diego Luna needs to go to Europe and challenge himself.
Oh, it's going to require a hefty price tag at this point.
You think? Really? I think it's $8 million. $8 million.
Will Real Salt Lake have him for like another 3 years? I mean, do you think they're going to accept an $8 million?
Yeah, I think they would accept it. $8 to $10 million for him. And by the way,
I mean, we know Duncan didn't go for that price tag. Orlando sat on that offer.
Speaking of sitting on offers or sitting on, in general, potential, Luna has had some great games, some fucking ball blasting games, and he's had some really poor, like nothing's happening games.
Mm-hmm.
So, you need to keep into consideration consistency here. So, and do they always play him at the best position at his club team? No, they don't. So
play him out left sometimes.
Right. Exactly. No, left. I said right, but I meant left.
Anyway, correct, you mean to say.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're done tonight, guys. It was a lot of fun. And Brett and I, we work for a living at schools, so we're tired, probably. I don't know. I'm kind of tired. Anyhow, it was fun, though. It was a fun fucking blast in the ass. And we will be back on Monday. We got soccer to watch this weekend. Yes.
We're back. We're back.
It's so awesome. I miss these international windows are so painful. They're so painful. You got two games to watch, nothing else.
You're just used to watching like 12 games on Saturday.
I am.
Sunday.
Yep, exactly. I watch at least 10 games on Saturday and another 10 on Sunday that I'm just catching up with. And then I'm still watching Formula One. And if it's on, IndyCar, because I'm an open wheel fanatic. So I want to thank everybody who showed up tonight. It ended up being at height like 350 of you. So thank you.
Yeah. Once I got Twitter.
Yeah. Once we got Twitter on board, it got up to 350 almost. We were nearing the big 400 number, which is great on a Thursday night, which is usually pretty slow. And we got Thursday night football to battle. So thank you for everybody that showed up. We'll be back on Monday. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma, and kiss your stepsister on her knee. Let's go with knee. All right. Until then, we'll see you on Monday.
That hurt.
And to me, it's nauseating. It's absolutely nauseating because
multiple mental health clinicians said that Derek had limited intellectual ability and was not capable of